Okay, well, we're gonna hold off of talking about any more of that. I'm gonna start doing some hoof evaluations because I owe some people some stuff. Um, so we're gonna go ahead and uh just a minute. I had to turn my voice off on YouTube. Okay, so Marilyn, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, let's talk about Dolly and what's going on with her.
Okay.
And I'm going to explain some things. Now there's still stuff we're learning on how to restore these feet. Like I understand what the true foot of the horse is for the most part, most of it, what it should be. All right. But then once these feet get deformed and distorted, then getting them back, getting that hoof capsule back on that foot, because really what you've got a situation of, well, let me go to Dolly here first. What you've got a situation of is trying to talk and change windows at the same time. Let me just a second. I gotta do a share. Hold on. Let me get you up here first. Go to your deal here. Let's see. Open in Messenger. Zoom and then share screen and get over there. Okay, there we are. Okay, you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so okay, so this is Dolly, this is Marilyn's horse, and so what I want to explain is because all this trimming out of the heels, it reduces the size of the hoof capsule and makes it smaller and binds the foot into this little small, all the back of the foot here. Did that bring up the big foot
Yes, it
there?
did.
Okay. So the whole back of this foot here, this capsule should be placed back and under and growing from here instead of forward. Like the whole sole here, everything, all of it. See, I wish we could just make it a little bigger and just slip the foot in there, you know? Um, but we can't do that. We got to figure out how to grow it back on. Um, so let's see, what is this here? Oh, that's the date. I was going to say, is this the 3,923rd picture you've taken?
It might
Marley?
be.
I was going to, wow, you've been counting. Okay. So how to get these capsules back on the feet to grow back on the foot the way they're supposed to. Like right now, on the group page, see what happens is, okay, all cartilage and fat crammed into a little tiny capsule, and the periopal, as the foot is being made smaller to cram into the smaller capsule, the periopal gets thicker, and this part of the foot, a lot of times what you'd see is all this here bound right down in here, like the hairline here. Just a minute. Okay, I had to cough. So what I want to know is, did you hear me cough? Because I've got this other, my webcam right here has a microphone on it, but I have a muter here on my other microphone. Did you hear me cough?
No, we didn't.
All right, good, it works. Just a minute. Okay, so even looking at Dolly's foot here, this can happen from the heels being trimmed out, which pulls the hair down right clear down like this. Here, I'm going to save this because I want to enlarge it. Da, da, da. Okay, let me do a new share here. Okay, this way I can make it bigger and smaller. So let me annotate. Hold on. Do red. Draw. I wonder how. That's I don't like that. Just a minute. Undo. Okay, so looking at this foot, see, I see this capsule where I see the wall. I can't tell if the wall is going here or up here. And this is just periopal skin, see? But it could be either way. And ideally, what you'd want is for this hoof capsule that you're seeing here to be growing from here. See that? And then the dorsal wall that's so long here be growing at about the same angle like this. Then her hoof capsule, see the stripe here would be up here, right there. So what we called this, just a minute, I got to talk to my daughter for a second. I hear smell something. Oh, she's cooking. All right. So right away, we see that everything has just gone forward. Now, two things can happen. One, the hoof capsule is literally growing forward, or two, it's growing forward and the bulbs are expanding out the back. See, because they were never meant to be pulled down like that. Bulbs are supposed to look, well, more flat like this. See, more like that. That's your cartilage. That'd be your true cartilage right there. Anyway, like that. And so these we know are, it's all pulled down, and you can see the rings too. See the rings?
Mhm.
Like so. Now the hairline here is straighter. So at some point, it could have some hoof capsule under there that we're not seeing due to some periopal for some reason or the other. Okay. But here we're seeing the what's really going on with the foot is everything's forward. Like, let me move this thing here. Wait a second. Okay, like this. Let me get a different color. We'll use pink. Okay, so we know that the sole is here. Here's the heel. In reality, that is supposed to, we'll use lime green. Okay, that sole is displaced under her foot. It should be, well, clear back. If the cartilage is expanded to where they're supposed to be, okay, like even if the wall fit to where her foot is at right now, her sole would be around here, more under the foot. But then if the cartilage is expanded to where they're supposed to be, and the wall grew down to where it's supposed to be, which is more right here, then let's see, let's do a different color. Let's do purple. Then still, well, her dorsal wall, and I'm starting to think that the dorsal walls on the front feet are supposed to be even steeper when they're grown in right, not because you know, put a little thing up against the toe and decide to chop your heels off or, amputate your toe or whatever to force it in. But we're talking about growing the hoof capsule to fit what the inner foot truly is to support all this back here. Because all of this cartilage and fat in the digital cushion and all that needs support. It has to have specific support with, like, her frog right now is clear under here. It's supposed to be clear up here, growing between the bulbs like that. Starting to look like a scribble picture I did in kindergarten. But anyway, so her sole, ideally, well, that would be where her heel buttress is, right here. And then her sole should be at least right in here. See? But where is it? It's clear up here. Let's do that in white. Just a second. So her sole is right here.
It's also very thin.
Yeah, and it would be. See, because for it to be thick, all the walls have to come down at a specific angle, and it has to grow at a specific angle like this. And right now, when it's pulled forward, a lot of times the tubules are like this. So they're not growing to their optimum thickness.
Stretched out like pie crust, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And so anyway, so there's still, this is not easy restoring these feet, not by any means, shape, or form, but it can be done. And we're still learning more about how to do it. We've had setbacks from misunderstandings during this time. Like I know that when Marilyn was first, following tact and stuff like that, like we didn't know as what we know now about the cartilages quite, did we?
No, we didn't.
Yeah. We didn't realize they got so bound up like they did. Me, when I first started and realized that we'd been led to trim the heel buttress out of our horses and do this whole 30-degree hairline thing, making a foot that looks like this. I just thought it was a matter of growing the heel buttress down there. But then as time went on, I found out that is not at all accurate, that the whole back of this foot gets distorted and deformed, and this foot can have so many false versions of itself other than the true foot the horse was meant to have. And that would be the natural foot. Now, when you think about nature and natural feet, okay, well, it's just as natural if they have to wander 20, 30 miles a day for a bite of grass and a drink of water that they totally wear their feet out, right? We don't want that foot on our horse, all right? We're taking control of nature. That's why we feed them all the stuff we feed them. That's why you're spending all that money on herbs and, everything you can think of for your horse while you neglect yourself. I'm sure I'm not the only one that does that. I'll buy vitamins for me and I'll forget to take them. But man, that horse gets them, every day, twice a day. See, and the dogs too. So, which is silly because we really need to take care of ourselves better. All right, let me undo this here. I don't know if that would work to send you a picture of that or not there, Marilyn.
Yeah, yes, please do.
Okay, I will. Let's see here. Let me Okay. File, save as. Copy. All right, let's close it out. I'm going to undo this.
Hey, I also took pictures on my phone while you were going through.
Oh,
and
okay.
If anybody, wants those, I can message them.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Like in stages.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be cool. Okay.
Hey, I'll post them on the website if that's
Yeah,
okay.
that'd be
Not
great.
the website. You know what I mean, Facebook.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, you're welcome.
Let's see here. And anybody has anything to say or anything? Well, major questions, all right, save them till last. Otherwise, we get distracted and go all over the place. But if you have a comment or something like that, that's great. Let's see here. Let's see. Annotate. Oh, I got to annotate again to undo. Clear all drawings. There we go. It's magic. Let's see, and then close this. Okay, so all right, so we're going to go through some more pictures here. see, when you see skin, or wait a minute, new share. Okay, so when you see skin like this, and here's what could be happening too, Marilyn, is you're letting her go a little bit long between touch-ups to where there things are getting a little long, and see, because she's already got leverage pulling forward from the bottom because the whole sole is displaced. Like, see, if we could just pull that all back and put it back on her foot, you know, her frog, the frog stay area is down here. This is all periopal that's been pulled down from here and grown together to stitch the foot together to hold the capsule on. So when their feet are like this, you do not want to just come in and start removing periopal. So I'm backing up on some of that stuff, okay, because we need to learn to do, look, this wonderful periopal skin here knows when your horse's foot is being compromised. And as the capsule's being pulled off the foot, this stuff starts growing over the frog and into the central sulcus and everywhere else to hold that capsule on the foot. And so as we are restoring these feet, we don't just want to come and take all that away. We want to do a controlled removal as we grow the capsule back onto the foot. And so we have a problem in that this is similar to, let's see how to describe it. The horse has partially removed his foot out of the capsule, but the capsule is still there. And so at the same time, he's growing new capsule the whole time. And really, that's what all laminitis is in the end, is the horse is losing his hoof capsule because of the mechanics of what has gone on, that his capsule is not in unison, in weight-bearing equilibrium and unison in alignment with his foot. And so it starts slipping forward. The foot starts coming out and the capsule starts slipping forward. So you just have a situation of the capsule coming off the foot. And that's what all this is. And so in barefoot trimming, and I want to emphasize the fact that when I say barefoot trimming, I am talking about a specific form of trimming with certain beliefs and ideologies and practices behind it, that I used to do, that I followed for many years. It's documented on my channel. That's why you'll see a lot of my videos. I say, don't do this. But like, don't trim the heels like this. And I say that because, well, okay, why don't you just remove the videos? Well, then my journey would not be documented. Then they could say, well, you weren't really doing barefoot trimming. Oh, yes, I was. You know, all my videos prove it. Okay. And plus the thousands of photos I took in the last 18 years. So when we talk about natural barefoot trimming, it's not natural. It doesn't lead to horses going barefoot most of the time, all of the time. It leads to boots. It leads to abscesses. It leads to many things because it's based on one dead wild horse that wore its heels out. And it's based on that guy saying that every wild horse he measured had heels 1 centimeter long. And in the picture that he shows in his book, he's just looking at the bulb. So it's this bulb here. That the coronary band itself is 1 centimeter wide. All right. And so when we talk about barefoot trimming, we're talking about not trimming just so your horse can go barefoot. All right. But a specific method, a specific ideology based primarily on one person's research, where they made, as far as I'm concerned, some really incorrect conclusions that are harmful when you're trying to force a horse's foot to have a 1 centimeter heel, because their foot is higher than that. Their actual foot, you have to crush the heels. You have to force the heels up into the foot. You have to deform the foot to make a capsule look like that. And of course, the foot is one size. We were talking about this earlier. Now, I want you to look at how the back of this foot here looks. Okay, you see how that looks? They'd look at this. They'd say, well, first of all, you got to take those heels off. But they would look at this and they would say, oh, look at that great digital cushion, because they would see how full this looks. But what's really happening is this is all bulging out the back. Because the capsule isn't fitting in the foot. And so if I were to take and just chop them heels off and, put a big old Mustang roll on the toe, well, the horse would still be crippled, but they'd say that's a good looking trim. Okay. So anyway, so when I talk about that, I'm talking about a specific method of trimming. We are trying to restore and recover these horses from that kind of trimming. And it is not easy. But we're further ahead than we were. But what I see here is that one of the things that's going on is you're letting your feet get a little too long before you trim them back, because they already have a lot of forward momentum on them with the leverage is on this foot, as the foot is pulling out the back and the capsule is pulling off in front. And so really keeping the trim up, and we're going to look at the toe. See? Yeah, see how high your heels are?
Uh-huh. And they measure about 2 inches.
Yeah, I think that you need to be bringing them down just a little more.
Okay.
Okay. And then we need to look at the sides. Don't remove any periopal. Okay, because you want it.
No periopal off at all?
No. Let that stay there for now, because it's going to hold at least hold the back of the foot where it is. Okay, like I said, we have to understand this periopal more, and it has to be more of a controlled release. In fact, what I've found is that it will start releasing itself as the foot comes back. So let's pay attention to that. Let's try and develop a program today that'll start this foot moving back without, making her real sore or something like that. And let's pay attention to these periopal flaps to see if they start coming loose on their own. Because this is what I found out, that when I was trimming the heels out of my horse at a fast pace, all right, doing Cheryl Henderson's trim of where she teaches, and because it's a constant, you will see that from here from the hairline here, let me get a deal. Okay. From the hairline here to the end of the periopal flap here is about 1 1/8 inch, usually. Okay. And that remains constant. And so she saw that and she thought, well, that must be the foot telling us where it wants the heel to be. Okay, so I picked up her method. Before I did her method, I did Jean Ovanek's method, where every single time, but look at this, you bring the heels back to the base of the frog. Now, where's the base of the frog here on her? Right here, right? Or even back here. Well, look, I'd be wind up bringing my heels back to the same place, wouldn't I? So again, we're talking about methodology, things that people believe that are not true to the foot. So in Jean Ovanek's and in Ferrier, see, this is a Ferrier thing anyway. You bring the heels back. Well, anytime you bring them back, you're bringing them down. See, because the heels grow what? Down and forward, like that. And so what I found, I have to remind myself what I was talking about. What I found when I was trimming the heels out, okay, at first I was just taking them back to the base of the frog. And if your frog is thick, you will take down less heel. And this periopal, and it can be hooked on the heel all the way up to here. And so you have to learn how to read heels. Oh, I don't want to get into that, but so what I found was that as I trimmed the heels out, the foot doesn't want to be down like that, right? And so the horse stands up and the back of his foot wants to stretch back up, even though I've lowered his heels way down, because remember, this is just a shoe that's growing from that foot, and the back of this is attached by this periopal skin here. And so when the horse stands up and his foot, all this cartilage wants to pull up, this periopal skin stretches, and also it's growing at the same time, and these bulbs will come up, will raise up, and then because you've lowered the heel, the horse is walking on this and it'll turn into a flap. And then you come out in even a few days sometimes, and because this right here, like, let me undo this here. Okay, this skin right here, okay, if it came loose, you're going to see wall. Just a minute, let me do this. Okay, let's say the skin is on the wall right there. Okay, whatever. Well, as this skin comes loose, what are you going to see? You're going to see wall. If you trimmed your heels down to here, or say you got skin here, blah, 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 and you trim this part of your heel off down to here, well, about down to there, and you come out a few days later and it looks like that, what do you think? You think, oh, my heels grew. Wow, I can't believe how fast my heels grew. Well, your heels didn't grow. What happened was this periopal flap came loose because the foot is wanting to stretch back up where the horse wants it. The real foot is the foot that's inside of here. And so I found, and I have this all documented, where big periopal, I come out, oh my gosh, look how fast my horse's heels are growing. And so every week I was trimming out more of the heel due to that. And so the capsule was getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And so what I found out, as I have been restoring heels, and heels was coming in heels were coming in, that as the heel grew in, then the place where the old periopal was, it would come loose, similar to what it was like when I was trimming the heels out. And so this is what I think we need to do. I think we need to do a controlled release on this as we are growing in the capsule wall, and that we need to look for when these flaps may be coming loose. So let's try it this way. Okay, Marilyn?
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's see here. Let's look at some other pictures here. Just a second. Oh, getting everybody out of the way there. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Marilyn, can you look at that and tell that this is bulb skin stretched down and that the capsule's kind of off the foot?
Yeah, and when it's wetter, it's white.
Yeah. And stuff. And so, you can see how all this gets pulled down, just keeps getting pulled down. And then when we're doing barefoot, we come out here and we take this part off. See, cut that off, and then the horse pulls it down some more. And then this is when you start, see this ring? We know that this is supposed to be straight. The coronary band is straight. All these hoof horn tubules are supposed to be in alignment, parallel and straight. But that is not what is taught in barefoot trimming. They don't talk about it much, but if you read that person's book, you find that's exactly what he teaches. These are all supposed to be crooked and growing forward. Okay, so don't okay, let's look at this. So we're just going to ask God for wisdom.
I hope so.
Yeah, because we need help. We need some higher power coming down here and letting us know how to do this. Well, that's why he gave us a brain too, but he can energize that brain. So let's see, where am I at here? Oh, okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting a picture of this so I can draw on it. Just a second here. I think I want to go to, I'm going to put this in paint. Open with, let's make it a little bigger. Wait a minute. Or no, this will work, I think. Annotate. Okay, do you see that side view there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so okay, so we got to look at form again. So let's see here. Let's do green. What the heck? Okay, so we're going to follow the horn tubules down right there and on this stripe over here. Okay, now we know that these, now you see how this one here is longer than this one here. Are you there?
The middle, the one right over the dorsal looks the longest. Yeah.
No, see this one here?
Oh, from the hairline, yeah, it is longer.
Yeah, from the hairline to there, this is longer than this one here, and it's supposed to be shorter. See, so this area right here is going to hold this foot right here, pretty much no matter what. And let me undo these here. Clear all drawing. Just a second. I'll draw it like this so you can see it better. Let's do it in red. Okay, so we're going to take this section of hoof wall, or hairline is clear up here. And this section here, where are we at?
Are you putting the top of that red line right on the hairline?
Yeah.
It's not showing that way on the screen. It's above the bulbs.
I'm all confused now. it's showing above the bulbs.
Yeah, the end of the line is right under her fetlock joint.
Well, well, here, let me clear all drawings. Did it clear off?
Yes.
Okay, let me try it again and see what it does. Well, maybe because I have this enlarged or something. Oh, just a minute. Let me put it in paint. Okay. Now, see, anytime you do this, see, that's why I was going to come back and remind people. Let's see, open with paint. Oh God, that's huge. Just a second. Let me redo this. I'm going to take a picture of it and put it in paint and draw it in there.
I opened in paint the other day and put it down to 75% and it was nicely enlarged.
Oh, good. Okay, so let me reshare somewhere else here. Paint. Okay, do you got that there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we know I'm just going to do a quickie here on what the foot is supposed to be. Just a second here. Let me, got to move this thing, clear down there and get this. Okay, ideally, well, wait a minute. Okay, ideally, the basic foot is like so. The shape of the basic foot is like so, and all these horn tubules have to be in alignment for there to be weight-bearing equilibrium and the sole to be under the foot where it's supposed to be, and for you to have a tight, clean, white line all the way around the foot. Now, let's see. And of course, that would be the heel buttress. So it'd be like that. So you see how these in the quarter, here's your quarter. Right here is your quarter.
Uh-huh.
Okay, here's your heel. Here's your side of your toe, and then over in the front there is the dorsal wall. Okay. Okay, so let me take a picture of that. Oh, that is my, wait a minute. Okay, so always got to remember that, because then you'll be looking at your foot and going, okay, it's not that way. What can I do to get it that way? What do I need to do to get it that way? Again, too, look at the rings here. See how they grow?
Definitely curved down in the heel.
Yeah. And so they're supposed to be all growing like this. See, this one here should be growing straight like that.
I don't see anything that you're drawing.
Oh, sorry. Just a minute. That's because I wasn't drawing it on that picture. I was drawing it on another picture that I'll send to you, but I'll draw it on this one too. Okay. Like here. Okay, so, darn it. Okay, so you can see the rings. Because the part I forgot to put in is this. We'll do it in green. The growth rings. Coronary band is behind here. Behind here. And then you'll see slight rings in the foot, which I call growth rings. And they're supposed to be like that. They're all supposed to be straight. This is your basic, what I call it, I had a name for it, proportions of the foot. These are basic proportions of the capsule growing correctly on the foot. Have to be very, very close, similar to this. or you have hoof distortion and the sole here is not under the foot. So let's see here. Let me take a picture. So then you have to think, okay, how can I get it that way? If the horse was born and got perfect wear or perfect trimming, this is how the horn tubules and the growth rings and the coronary band would be. And you notice here too, you get this little rectangle with the triangle or a cone shape. Let's see. I'm going to save that and I'll send it to you later. Just a second here. Yes, I'll save that. Put that on Marilyn. Just a minute. There we go. Okay, so let's undo this here. Because let's look, well, yeah, okay, just a second. Okay, we can kind of keep part of that. We'll keep part of that. Okay, so we're going to look at, I'll use blue. We're going to show you where your horn tubules are. Okay, now do you see that?
Certainly do.
Okay, so then we have to think, okay, so how are we going to get this here to where it is like here? See, what's interesting is how it even grows more capsule into the capsule. You see what I'm saying? That this chunk of capsule that is, let's see, quit that. This piece of capsule here, see that piece of capsule?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's bigger than this piece of capsule here. What color am I going to use? Let's use lime green. This is where that piece of hoof capsule on that foot is supposed to be. But this is what happens when the heels get trimmed out for years and everything gets pulled down. Everything wants to grow forward. See? Well, this is supposed to grow down from up here and attach to the sole. Yeah, can you see how much bigger this piece is here than this piece?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so so what has to be done is got to start a program where you're growing this in and you're going to have to keep the toe back a little more. Okay, because I know you don't want to do anything to make the horse sore. I don't either.
Yeah, and even more so, I don't want to bind her feet because the right medial is already bound.
Yeah. And so, yeah, because you don't want the dorsal wall to really come back. And then push her toe back when her foot ain't going nowhere back here. You know? Because I don't know, who knows that when you constantly take the toe back that it bends the whole foot in the front back. See?
Mm-hmm.
That's how they get these little tiny feet that look so concave and then wind up bursting out. Let me show you something here just a second.
I'm going to have x-rays done again in the end of April when the vet comes.
Okay. Let's see. Copy. See, can't remember who posted this one picture here. Oh, well, wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of that for you. So this applies to all these horses. I mean, they all have issues from incorrect heel trimming of some sort. because it's just so epidemic. It doesn't have to be barefoot trimming. It can be farriery, because also they have picked up on the worst part of barefoot trimming. And so they trim the heels even lower to try and put a shoe on the horse to force frog contact. So you got to know that frog thickness is arbitrary. And you don't determine heel height by the height of your frog. And now that, yeah, you just can't do that. Okay, let me save this. Hold on. Let's see.
Linda, would you be willing to go over, and it's okay if you don't want to, obviously, the part that's in the yellow boundaries and the lime green?
Yeah.
What I heard you say is that the triangle where the base is at the sole is bigger. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, this piece of
Sorry, let me go to a dog-free zone.
oh, that's okay.
Oh,
Yeah, like if we were to measure this section of hoof wall, like this section of hoof wall in the yellow.
yeah.
Here, let me take all this alpha here and redo it. Hold on.
Yeah, it made
And I'll
sense at
show
the time, and now I can't remember why.
yeah, I'll show you an example of it as well. Okay,
Thanks.
so I showed you how the horn tubules are supposed to go, right? How the one in the dorsal wall, wait a minute here. The one, the gosh dang, you stupid thing. There we go. This one here,
Mhm.
okay? Even if your toe was out to here, whatever, okay? They're supposed to, this coronary band is supposed to be straight, okay? And they gradually reduce in length as they go back.
But
And
they're
they
all yeah.
and they should be in alignment as well, like that.
Right.
Oh, hold on just 1 second, please. Okay. Let's see here. This is the way, even if the foot and the wall was like that at this angle and everything else, even so, if everything was right, the heel would be back there, see, whatever. And but you see how they're in alignment
Yes.
there, and they get shorter from the center of the dorsal wall going back to the heel. They get gradually shorter, and they are supposed to be in alignment. Now, do you know what I mean by horn tubules?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you see how on this foot, how she's got some stripes,
Yes.
okay, and we can see her horn tubules, like I can start up here and I can see them and I can follow them like that to right there. See, then I can go over here and I could follow this one down to here and then go ahead and follow it up to here.
And they're at the wrong angle for correctness.
Yeah, they're not only at the wrong angle. Look how long this one is here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now look, here's the dorsal wall. I'm just gonna, okay, well, to there. Do you see how this one here is actually longer
Yes.
than that one when it's
Yeah.
supposed to be shorter?
Yes.
So all of these, and even up to here, look here, that one,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so they're supposed to be shorter. And so not only that, but they're supposed to be ending at the ground. See, they start growing up here and they're supposed to be ending at the ground here.
Mhm.
Instead, they're ending clear up here. Well,
Yeah, they're not directly parallel to the dorsal wall, because the
yeah,
dorsal correctly parallel to where it
yeah.
should be.
And
Yeah.
and so these are holding that toe forward
Gotcha.
there.
Yeah.
Uh
So they would have to be getting a little extra TLC.
yeah. What well, see, you got other things going on too. Like, okay, wait a minute. Let me undo this here. Uh
I
okay.
think I just violated the rule of ask questions at the end. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay because we'll let it go this time. All right.
Oh, I promise. I'll note on my forehead.
Okay, because we do need to understand this. It's very important, and you all need to do your own markups. Get your foot in here, look at it. Are my horn tubules in alignment? Are they lower or shorter than the dorsal wall? Now there's a curve in the hairline. That's not supposed to be there. Is it there because the hoof wall is jamming upwards and pushing it up? Or is it there because the back of the foot is bent and it's a curve because it's bent? You see, and it could be a little bit of both.
Linda,
Because, yeah,
you can see on the bottom on yeah, right through there that I had beveled it when she was trimmed. It was on February 6th, but obviously that didn't bring the wall down.
yeah. So what I found, because I beveled, scoop, beveled forever, trying to get this arch in my horse's wall to come out, thinking it was hoof jamming, when in truth, the back of the foot was bent like this. And so I think a lot of yours is the cartilage is bent this way. Well, you bend something, it bends in the middle, right?
Usually,
Yeah. So that's what's going on. Um, so the object here is, I'm just going to say that you see a lot of these horses where they just have a little notch out here. I'm going to show you one right now.
you can look at the medial on that foot and you can see one that started that was huge last summer.
Uh-huh.
The trimmer trimmed but didn't trim it down far enough. Then she ended up in shoes and there was no notch there for a while. And then poof, lo and behold, I saw it when I was taking these pictures and thought it was an old nail hole. It's not a nail hole, it's a notch.
And
So
what did it do to that heel? Did it seem to help it at all, maybe? Or
I sent you the 4 comparison pictures before this set. So just above this whole set, there's a set of 4 with different dates on them of the left front medial.
okay. Well, remind me, because right after I explain this, we're going to go look at that. Because again, this is research as well. I don't have all the answers. I'm getting more all the time.
What?
And stuff. Because once you get rid of a lot of the falsehood and then you glom on to a few of the truths, then more comes. But then too, you always have to be aware that you could still be believing something false. So you want to kick it out. If you find that, always keep stuff on a shelf, be willing to see something different. But then there also comes a time when there are certain foundational things that are just a fact, and that's it. That's the truth. That's the bottom line. Okay. And so some of the ways, like what I was just showing you about the general accurate proportions and the way the coronary band's supposed to be, the way the horn tubules are supposed to grow in alignment, things like that you can't break that. All right, because that is not only absolutely true to the true foot of the horse, it is also all based on structural engineering laws, physics, physical laws. You cannot have this coronary band that grows these tubules like that. Okay, you can't have it bending You can't have some growing like this and some growing like that. They have to be in alignment to be in weight bearing unity and equilibrium with this inner foot because of the structure of the lamina and just everything. And physics, they're always talking about run forward heels. Okay, well, this is why they're getting run forward heels, because they're trimming the heels out, pulling the back of the foot down, making the coronary band bend, and everything wants to grow and push this way. So there's one other thing I was going to talk about here. Okay, so what we're doing here is this, more of this needs to be grown in. I'm sure that when this happens, also, the heels curl around. If they don't contract, they will often curl around in towards the frog. In fact, it can happen really easily. There's a gal in our group and she trimmed the heels out of this one horse, and I said, well, keep taking pictures of it. And she took pictures of it. You could literally see that foot raise itself up and curl these heels inward so that he would be standing up again and have some support. But this is just a capsule. After I seen that, it made perfect sense. And so that's something I've been working on my horses, uncurling the heel buttress. I've come to the place where I often wonder if that heel buttress has been curled in to become part of the bar. And that's why you have some of these horses with super, super thick bars. Because this stuff, it's either going to get covered up and stop growing, or it's going to grow from a different spot in a weird way. So, okay, so there's this is what I wanted to show. Just a second here. Okay, so if we took this piece of hoof capsule that is right here, okay, you see the mass, how much mass is in there. Like, how many square inches, centimeters, millimeters is in that piece of hoof capsule. Okay. Well, here, wait a minute. Let me do this. Let's move this over here. Oh, wait a second. Okay. So here's this piece of hoof capsule. Now, if it was where it's supposed to be, let's see here. Let's do it in a different color. We'll do it in blue. Okay. Then instead of being here, it would be about here. Well, if the dorsal wall also was back where it's supposed to be, okay, it would be here, and this piece here would be about here. Okay, now do you see the difference in the size? If that
Definitely.
was, if that was one chunk. Okay, so you see how what happens, it's interesting, the heels whether the heels get trimmed out, or because they get trimmed out too when the heels get real long and then leverage and collapse forward, then they can take on this form as well. The capsule can, because the growth is all incorrect now because the coronary band has been bent and all that stuff. And so you can see, can't remember where I was going. You can see that the size, like if we were to divide this, let's say these were all, centimeters. Okay. And we were to count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're to divide this one over here, into the same size. How many more of those little squares would there be on this one? Okay, now do you understand what I'm saying about this area?
Yes.
Okay. Who was talking to me before?
Uh,
Meg?
I was, yes, it was and this was exactly, it was the amount of real estate
Yeah,
you
okay.
were talking about. And it looks like the foot on the right has a shorter, maybe possibly wider, that could be just arbitrary amount of real estate.
Yeah,
But the one on the
exactly.
left is, it's kind of like a puzzle piece. It's kind of like holding everything in place. It's so that it can't kick back.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I really like the way you stated that, you know, because it's hard to figure out how to describe it. Yeah, you got bigger piece of real estate here. You know,
And
that
so that's why I said, why wouldn't we want to? And I lost my Post-it note. I'm not supposed to ask questions. I'm sorry.
no, that's
I'm not.
okay. Go
I'm
ahead,
just
because
being
we're
silly.
talking about this right now.
But okay, so what I want to do intuitively is I want to take some off at the ground level
Yeah.
of this picture on the left, and then I want to reach in and I want to pull those bulbs apart. And the only way that I can, and knock that whole thing back, and the only
Yeah.
way I can figure out how to do that would be to make sure that there wasn't anything in the collateral groove exit to have that area locked in the back, and make sure that the bars, especially at the back, well, I mean, all the way along,
Mhm.
were mapped and trimmed to that, and that there would be a little bit of a central sulcus carved into the frog for an expansion joint.
But
Yeah.
if we clear out the collateral groove exits, are we weakening the back of the foot from the periopal that's trying to hold it together?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
See,
either.
and this is all stuff. Like one thing that's going on here is this cartilage is all pulled down. And so we know the coronary band is pulled down. I'm not sure what's behind this periopal right here. Whether it's or what's going on there. But I know that this heel has to grow in more to release, because, you know, as the heels grow in and push up, it releases the cartilage. And I think it's a combination of a lot of things you got to do here. One, giving this some room without overdoing it to move back. You know what I mean? Giving all of this a little room. So because what happens is, and I can show you pictures where a flat did that on my horse, was, yeah, you do bevel this, okay? But and then if everything's right, it will just fall down like that, because it wants to come back. There's constant pressure on this to want to come back. At the same time, though, we do still have to be, you know, trying to grow some more of this in so it'll move back too. So, you know,
It wants to come back, but there's no place for it to go.
yeah, that could be too, you know, and stuff.
So you're
Okay.
thinking that if the exit point of the collateral grooves is if the excess material is removed from that,
Uh-huh.
but the rest of the periopal remains intact, that is a weakening feature if you have contracted bulbs.
Well, you know, sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't.
I guess the proof is in the pudding. I mean, if you end up with a
Yeah.
sore afterwards, something went wrong.
Well, yeah, did it? You know, I don't believe in soreness forever. Okay, like they do. All right.
Yeah.
It's going to take 7 years for you to build that digital cushion.
NFW, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not going to say that a horse can never be sore because you're doing the right thing. Okay.
Good to know.
I'm never
Okay.
going to say that, but I'm not going to say, well, your horse should be sore every time and no pain, no gain. All right. Are you willing to endure your horse's pain so you can have a good foot? See, that's what
Right.
they're teaching out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So as usual, per usual with horses, it depends.
Yeah. Well, see, we have a problem here, right? The horse's foot is not right to begin with. Okay. Now their band-aid would be just to slap a shoe on it, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to restore the capsule to the foot so that's growing from the foot the way it should be. And so this is all new territory, but I will show you a picture of this here, how I did it on my horse. Just a second here. Examples. Let's see here. Got to remember where I'm at. It's all pictures. Sometimes there's so many windows open, I get kind of lost in here. Let's see. Seagate expansion. We're going to go to horn tubules. Got to go to H. Just a minute here.
Hey, Marilyn, how long have you been in your current state with this hoof?
Oh my, I bought her in 2017. She got laminitis in 18. I started trimming September of 18, and it's been a journey ever since. So I bought her, she had long toes, low heels, and was wearing shoes.
Oh my freaking word. Okay, so would you say she's, based on where she started and where you are now, would you feel like what percentage of the way toward what you would call a full restoration?
I haven't a clue. We've
Okay.
had so many ups and downs, and I started from scratch. I had never handled a hoof knife or rasp in my life, and I had no hands-on guidance. All I had was the hoof chats with Linda's help, videos, mentoring, a wing and a prayer, lots of prayer.
Oh, well, no, that's a lot of help you have there. And is she sound?
Are you there? She asked if she was sound. You ride her, don't you? In boots? She wears boots. You can ride her in boots. She's.
Oh yeah. I was riding yesterday.
Yeah. Let's see here. New share.
There have been times that she's been totally unrideable.
Yeah, and ups and downs. See, I've had ups and downs too. Yeah, I know about those. Okay, so here's an example. Now I wish I could find a picture of this horse's feet. Let's see, this horse's feet. Are you seeing that?
Yes.
Put up there. Okay, you see that piece of how his heels were long and forward, but you see how everything came back. It shows you how much of the hoof wall was trimmed off as it all moved back right here. See that?
Wow.
And so that doesn't matter if it's up here, because he had that up there too. But I was, at that time I was focused on when was this? Okay, this was in 10/6/2016. So I've been working on that actually for a year, even though I did not discover about the heel buttress until January of 2016. Even in 2015, for about 7 months before that, I've been working on growing heels. So to try and correct underrun heels. And then I was going to chop the heels off again as soon as I got them corrected. Thank God I didn't do that, because sometimes you hit the place and what may not be no return, but yeah. Okay, so that kind of shows it there too. Let's see. This is 6-3-16. This foot here. And
It
this
looks a lot
is
like Dolly's, the first one.
yeah. And this looks like this is 10-3-16. Okay, and I just kept growing in the heel here and keeping it maintained, and keeping the toe back and beveling this area as it would come down. Because what happens is you bevel it and it'll move back and fall down. And I've said this before, you bevel it, like I don't want to put a big scoop in here. Now, I think a notch is different than a big fat scoop they put in here. I don't like scoops. Maybe I'll change my mind someday, but I don't like that. I don't like putting a big giant arch in here. But to bevel it, you're maintaining the strength where it's at while giving it the opportunity to move back at the same time. And what'll happen is this capsule's way more elastic than we can even imagine. If we give it a little room down here at the ground, okay, the horn tubules want to pull back because this foot's pulling up all the time. Since this foot is pulling up, it's pulling all this back to begin with. So there are structures and forces in place that are pulling this whole thing anyway. Let's see here.
Did you bevel the wall to the white line in that area, or just the outer harder wall?
I do. I've done it both ways. I've done it both ways. And sometime this next week, I'm going to take one of these dead feet I got here, and I want to do a whole basic, slow, demonstrated trim on it, on how I do the beveling. I mean, sometimes I'll go to the white line, and sometimes I just go into the water line.
And what are your criteria for choosing either?
Well, at the time I got different reasons, like sometimes I'll go past the white line. If I have a foot that has a flare, and not only a flare, but the sole has been pulled out, and it's very asymmetrical, sometimes I will trim over past the white line even, but I'm not making a scoop, I'm not making a scoop like that. I need to get together and show you where I've done this at times, because see, when I trimmed the heels out of my horse, a lot of times you'll trim one heel out more than the other, one heel buttress out more than the other, which weakens that side. And so like on his lateral sides, all his lateral sides were bulged out, looks like a flare. And so that side of the foot was a lot wider than the other side, and that heel was at more of an angle forward. And so trying to correct that wider side of the foot, sometimes I would bevel in here past the white line. Just a minute. When you're out there, see, if I can write down and get all these principles in a book or a manual or something for you to read, you can go through them and then read my reasoning behind them. And then when you're out there, and then once you get to know a lot of these principles and the structure of this foot and how it's supposed to be, and how, the foot wants to be, it wants all this stuff we're doing to it. So there's constant pressure internal pulling it back into place. If we can just figure out where and what to relieve at what time. These feet bend. They're so elastic. It's unbelievable. I mean, I knew that they could bend around and stuff. I knew the cartilage was really bendy, but here in the last month, I really, really, really see how elastic this hoof capsule is. When you have a 1,200-pound horse pulling on this little shell here, see, it's really has amazed me. Anyway, let's see if we can see some more horn tubules there.
And Linda, is if you only trim the outer harder hoof wall, as you've taught us, we know that the hoof wall is like a dovetail system. And if you only bevel the outer harder hoof wall, is that enough for this dovetail system to work, or does that only work if you take actually to the white line? What is correct?
Both of them will work.
Okay, so the dovetail system is basically in 2 layers, in the outer and the inner hoof wall, or
Yeah. Well,
okay.
well, the
So-
dovetail is between the 2 laminas. Like you got the hoof capsule that has the horn lamina that interlocks with the tissue of the skin lamina on that foot, and it slides up and down. You know, but on this too, that lamina, let me do an annotate here. This lamina is, I probably got a picture of it. Wait, let me find a picture. Hold on here. That would be better. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So you see the lamina here, how it's only supposed to be one way, and it wants to be straight up and down like that. And this wall is supposed to grow down and connect, and then your sole is under here. And so the wall of this internally is dovetailed to this here. It slides up and down. Mostly it's supposed to slide down, but we make the fact that it will slide up work for us when we're growing in heels. And that's why we allow the wall to be longer back here than the sole. So it's weighted so that instead of growing from the coronary band here and pushing down, because this coronary band and the digital cushion and all of it is under pressure being forced down into a smaller capsule, it's constantly pulling back. And so if we can figure out different ways to work with that, like that's why I would, let me see here. Let me get a drawing going here. Okay, so that's why I would weight the wall back here longer than the sole, because then as this coronary band that's pulled down, it's pulled down here like so, and this one is, okay, as it's growing the wall up here, instead of pushing down and then out where you trim it off, instead the wall will stay up here and the wall will release the coronary band because it's pulling. It's like even on this foot was not correct. This is before I knew that the cartilages were all bound in the foot like that. Okay. Even here, there's constant pressure up here because this cartilage, just like I keep saying, push your nose to the side of your face and then feel the pressure of your nose pushing against your finger. Well, that is constant in this foot because it's crammed into too small a hoof capsule. It's like if you put a girdle on, it might look nice, but when you take that that fat's still there. It still wants to be where it wants to be. As soon as you take the girdle off, it's going back to where it's going to go. You know, so we're making this work for us. All of it, even this part where where the wall that grows down like this is up here. Okay, there's constant pull on that. The lamina is constantly pulling on it. The whole foot is pulling on everything. It wants everything to go back to where it's supposed to. And so we need to learn how to work with that. And so this part back here, if you allow your wall to be weighted here, because we know that if the walls are weighted, it makes the hoof capsule jam up this way. Okay, well, it's growing down from up here. And so that's going to put resistance on that growth. Instead of just growing down, what happens is the growth, the coronary band starts to rise and leave the growth up here. See, it's leaving the growth up here. And eventually it unwraps the back of your foot, and see, this is all hoof capsule. It's adding the hoof capsule that you trimmed out at the bottom back in to the top. And at the same time, see, this here, whatever happens here affects what's going on up here. You know, so yeah, this got pulled down. Everything grew forward to here. The whole foot's pulling back. And so, you know, it's a little bit here, a little bit there is all I can tell you, is that you're changing. See, you're changing the inner foot. You're allowing everything to release. You're changing the capsule, but it's also changing the inner foot. So that, because this inner foot has to be in a correct position to grow a correct hoof capsule. And this is why this became harder than just growing in heels, because you're restoring and bringing the foot back that's growing the capsule that's deformed and stuck to it back to its original position so it can grow everything in correct alignment. That's why I can't always tell you, yeah, you got to bevel exactly here. You got to bevel exactly there. No, you learn these principles, then you put the pictures, and eventually, you know, we'll learn this stuff to where it becomes automatic. You'll be able to look at the foot, read it, and go, okay, I need to do this, that, and the other, bam, bam. Do it. Do like the farriers, you know, and stuff, even though they may do it wrong, you know, kind of a one night stand type of deal. You know, give me my check. You know, they come in there, whip wham woom, right? And they're gone. Well, eventually I think it'll get so that farriers and trimmers will so be able to understand this 6D foot. See, because we're looking at 6D. All right, you got the 3D of the hoof capsule. You got, well, maybe it's 9D. And then you got the 3D of the inner foot inside. And then you got the whole thing growing. And you got what's there. And you got what's coming on, you see. There's so many things. Yet it's really simple, but it's really complicated at the same time. And this is a science that you and I are developing. Okay, because everything you do, you're learning something. You know, I like the way you're thinking about, well, if I did this, I could do that, to do this, to do that, because that's the way I think too. You know, unfortunately, there's been many times when I thought, well, if I do this to do that, and this will do that, I didn't know about certain other things that were going on. And sometimes it turned out good and other times it didn't. In this case, when I grew the heels on this foot, see, I need to show you what his foot looked like when I started this in July of 2015, after letting my beautiful barefoot trim go for about a year, after getting frustrated that this don't work. See, but I know that wild horses have tremendous feet, at least where I live in Wyoming. And so I was sold on that concept. But now what I believe is a concept of learning the true anatomy combined with why do some wild horses have such good feet? Because they wear them just right so that they don't get wholly deformed. Other wild horses in different places could wear them, overwear them, and it'd be just like a barefoot trim. And they distort and deform their feet. So, okay, so did that explain some of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank
Linda, thank you.
Okay, so do you see where it's not always just bevel here, do that?
Yes, I understand. Sometimes
know?
you say you get frustrated, so you hope sometimes somebody can say, yeah, do this, do that, and then it'll be okay. But
Yeah,
basically, it's not like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
but you can see that the beveling does work. See
Yes,
here,
sure, yes.
you
Mhm.
know, but it was a combination of growing in heel and the beveling. And see, I am a stickler for finding the true apex and taking back that toe to the mark. I call it the line in the sand. Okay, that's one thing I am a stickler at, no matter what. All right, line in the sand. Okay, the toe is here, pretty much. See, now, but what if I have a horse whose toe is out to there? You know, I may not be able to take that toe back like that, but I could do some gradual, you know what I mean? To where you finally get within a perimeter there, you know, because I've done that. Go, okay, well, it's just about taking the toe back, right? Yeah, that they don't like that. That don't work. Okay, so if my toe was clear out to here, which actually my toe was kind of clear out to there, and not only that, it was totally bent as well. Oh, they don't have a deal where you can just bend the thing. But anyways, let's see. Let's undo clear. Okay, there. Let's see what else I got here. Yeah, I was always working on that, you know, worked on that a lot, trying to figure out. Let me see if I can find a picture of, well, okay, here we go, right here. Look at how the bulb is. Looks a lot like Dolly's there. See it?
Certainly does, yes.
Okay. Now, okay, so I want to find, you see this? See, I don't rasp down dorsal walls. Okay, but what I do is I will take a hacksaw and I will make a cut like this. I'm pretty sure I did this on the side of the foot because of the flare. I will make a cut like that is about a third of the way through the hardest horn tubules, so that the horn tubules growing down here don't want to necessarily just follow the ones that are here, because you know it's like a hair, right? And so if it's growing here and it's connected to part that's going like this, it's just going to follow it, constantly follow it. But if you take a thin hacksaw and you cut a groove, thin little groove, look, that's pretty small, right? Then this wall will be more prone to grow down straight as this curved part is growing off. So let me see if I can find a picture of what I started with, the monstrosity that I started with. So you can see just how deformed my horse's foot got, because these cute little trims, you know, how they want you to trim every 3 weeks. They want to come every 3 weeks. Okay. They have to do that to keep that foot in shape because they so deformed it that if you let it go at all, it grows into the true monster it really, really is. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can find a picture. Hold on. Well, here you can see where I was growing out a really bad flare. And
You
I
need to
used,
change the share.
yeah, and I used that method. There, see? I had a really, really, really bad flare, really, really, really underrun heels, and a really bad flare. And I used that method. You see, now that's not real deep, you understand, but it's through the darkest, hardest, you know, that the hoof wall is in layers and it gets softer as you go in with less horn tubules. And so if you take, look at here, you do this, just a minute here, annotate. Okay, so what I would do, so I take my rasp and I hold it up here. Well, come down here, right to there. See how the wall is tight right to there, not flared? And that's where I'd make my little groove with my little, I used a coping saw or a hacksaw. You know how thin the blades are on those? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay, so I would cut through half about, well, the darkest horn tubules. I'd say it's not very deep. I mean, you're just, you know, barely doing anything. And so then the horn tubules that were growing down here would be tempted to grow straight instead of following these. Do you see the principle in that?
Makes sense.
Now, there might somebody come along and go, oh my goodness, you know, well, my gosh, do you know what these farriers do to these dorsal walls? How much they take off? You know what? You know how much that wall they take off? Let's see. Let me undo it here.
I cringed when I watched it happening to Dolly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is just a shell here. Okay. And so they're going to take off like that much just to make it look nice. Okay. Well, right away, you've destroyed the connection. You've weakened the whole wall in here that's supposed to support the sole. He still needs some support. You know, this worked like magic. I'm not kidding you. And so what had happened is then this grows down, this grows out. And as it is, I'm just, you know, kind of beveling it back. Because this wall, when I finally decided to take a look at what was really going on, his feet were like this. You know, it was horrifying. But you couldn't tell really standing up. It was when you took pictures and then you saw how bad they really were because, you know, I gave up in 2014, July of, or when was it? Sometime in 2014, I said, the heck with this. And I only trimmed him for a year, maybe 3 times, kinda. And I just let him go. And so then when I came back in 2015, because I thought I'm going to sell him, he's going to waste here. And I thought, well, if I'm going to sell him better, I just thought I'm going to take pictures of his feet. And his feet were so horrendous. I thought nobody will ever buy this horse with feet like that. And so I had to start again to correct his feet. And so this is the idea I came up with at the time, getting all these horn tubules back in alignment and getting this big ugly flare out of his foot. How do I get this big ugly flare out of the toe without totally weakening the dorsal wall? And this worked wonders. Let's see, where am I at? Clear all drawings. Okay, so hold on here. I really want to see if I can find a picture of what his foot looked like, because you need to see that, Marilyn.
Hi, Linda. May I ask a question?
Yeah.
So I got the similar flare on Dodo, but the foot was bounded and crewed in. So for my hope is that after I release that cruel and it's not bounded anymore, that flare will not come again.
Yeah,
It stays
mine
the same.
hasn't. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think it would be helpful to do that little notch or whatever you call it? I don't know it on Dodo 2, except he uncrueled and unbounded his foot by himself.
Yeah, I think this works. First of all, you're not taking the toe back, so you're not like forcing a laminar wedge out of the foot. Okay. You're just kind of helping the horn tubules grow straighter instead of following the curve.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm going to see if I can find a picture of Valor's foot here, how awful
thank you.
horrible it was. Oh, you're welcome. Let's see here. Someday, I think it'd be nice to do a hoof chat, just going through a bunch of pictures of different things I've collected over the time. Oh my goodness, who is that? You see these feet and you go, oh my gosh. Oh, that's mine. No. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna see. Let's see here. Okay. Just a second here. Kind of having a hard time finding that. Oh, okay. I know it'll be here somewhere. Just a second here. New share. Oh, I'm gonna have to close some out. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Show all windows. I'm gonna have to close some windows. Just a second here. Save. Okay. New share. Now I'll try it. Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm here in an old file of pictures long ago, and I'm going to try. Oh, here we go. Here's the beauty. Here's the beauty. So look at that ugly thing. You there, Marilyn?
Wow.
Yeah. That's why I was, how am I going to fix that? You know?
Dolly's feet have never been quite that bad. Thank
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, see? And the thing was, he felt better than the last barefoot trim I'd done on him. How about that? See? So,
What's the time difference between these two pictures?
not sure. Well, obviously I've grown the flare out there by the means that I showed you. Okay, because some of those other pictures I showed you were the process of getting to here. I just wish I would have known what I had here then. Okay, because then we went the other direction somehow, somehow in the back of the foot. I'm not sure what happened. Didn't know about the cartilages yet. So some different things happened. I don't know. But sometimes I look at these feet and I go, well, what happened in between there and there, you know? So this is, again, when I was using that method, you know, to grow out a flare. But yeah, so, and this is when I was doing barefoot trimming his heels out here. And you see how his bulbs are clear down on the ground there. And this is when I was growing it out yet. So I didn't have a date on that. Yeah, that's pretty awful. So anyway, that did work. Let me see if I can find a, okay. Let me still trying to figure things out here. What's this? Okay, well, this is back in 2014. Okay, trying to figure out, why does my foot look good some of the times, but he can't walk across a gravel road, you know, without ow, 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 and things like that. See, you would look at that and think, well, that don't look bad. See, but here's what happens. We're all the time trying to get the foot to look, we don't even realize it, similar to what that ideal barefoot foot is. But the foot don't want to do that. And so when you trim the heels down, the foot wants to raise back up, and it will raise back up. And as it does so, it pulls the sidewall around to support it. See, now I want you to imagine this. I trimmed this heel out here. This cartilage doesn't want to be down there. That horse is standing up and it's pulling up. Even though I've set the cartilage clear down here, it's pulling up. Well, you don't have a lot of hoof wall here. As it pulls it up, it curls the cartilage in, and it curls, literally takes and curls this hoof wall inward, so that then it will look like either your heels grew or the horse has heels, when in truth you have trimmed the heels out. That foot, that hairline would not go down. That foot, it wants to be up here. That hairline wants to be up here, no matter what. And so, yeah, I don't even know what it says on here. This could, oh, I think, I don't know. Sometimes I watch those videos and different things, and I'm kind of mortified there. But this is all trying to figure it out, you know, trying to understand. That was in 2016. So let me see if I can see something else I need to share. See, I would like to find a picture of right after I trimmed there, where you can see, oh, here we go. I have a whole series of pictures of exactly what I did. Or well, no, this is grown out. This shows you, let's see, new share. Okay. Okay, so this is that same foot in 2015 when he's all cattywampus. I had done a basic trim, and then was deciding what to do. This is 219 or 619. So that's what, 4 years later. These feet, You know, there is one way these feet are supposed to be. Every other way, they adapt, and it might not be as bad as another way, but it's still not the true way, you know. And that is anatomically correct with the hoof capsule supporting the inner foot in the position it's supposed to be in. That's correct. Okay, well, I don't know if I can find it a second. Oh, well, here you go. Here's one to look at. Here's a series. Let's see, new share. Okay, that was as trimmed out as I ever got him.
Wow.
See? Yeah, terrible.
Is that blood on the coronary band or is that a red mark?
No, that's a red mark from a red marker.
Oh,
See
good.
the red mark here on the board? Then I wrote something on there. I wonder what the date was this. Let me look. 4/15/14 is this one. 2014. That was about when I gave up. You know, when I did that last barefoot trim on him, and he stood there, and he, you know, usually, you know, a horse will kind of just turn to the side and walk off. He didn't do it that time. He leaned way, way back, and then he moved his feet out in front of him. See? And I knew then, well, I should have known it before that, right? I knew then, yeah, that's it. Something ain't right. I give up, you know, and I didn't even want to trim him after that. And so, but then again, like I said, in 2015, I came back. So there's your barefoot trim, ultimately making this horse who has big feet, foot bound into little tiny, teeny feet. Now, we're going to see something here.
If I may, hello everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine, a bit late, but I watched you since half an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to say that I had the same exactly problems and I went through all these phases too with Benenitra.
Yeah.
So girls, when I give some advice, it comes from exactly these phases we went through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Oh, hey, thank
Done.
you. Yeah, see, confirmation there that I'm not the only one. Everybody's been doing the same thing, but nobody's going to tell you, oh, well, my horse was really not sound. You know, all these people saying, oh, all their barefoot horses are sound. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe all these trimmers got sound horses all over the place. It's just that they're blaming it on what they ate, you know, and all the abscesses, epidemic of abscesses, things like that. Well, why wouldn't a horse have abscesses? You know, and so I don't see the date on there. I don't know. Was I maybe I was measuring that. I don't know. I guess I was measuring that or something, but I don't know what. I wish I would have dated these. They're not that far apart, these two here. And that's another thing you'll see. Like on my horse now, real nice, clean, pretty hoof wall. Not all this scaly periopal. You get this scaly periopal and stuff when the feet are compromised. So, yeah. And see, the feet just start doing weird stuff. They don't want to be like that. And so it can look all tidy, and then you come in and you look like you have more heel again because of the way the foot is adjusting and things like that. So, you know, trying to get those, I guess I didn't know it at the time, but that guy wrote every wild horse he measured had 1 centimeter heel. Thank God. I didn't know that. And I wasn't trying to measure them down to that. As it was, I was doing 1 inch and a eighth. See, just to get that. And so you trim it down to this, you come back, you got that, that heel's up there again. And you're wondering why. Yeah, that's exactly what was going on here. Let's see, that's 12, well, that's 12/6/2011, 2014. How insane is that? Ooh, look at that. 2012, 2018. Yeah, probably thought I had a good foot there. See, because that's the picture. Here it is. Here, I'll move this. Look here. A second. Let's see. Stop share. And let me get this. Where are we at here? Okay. Choose spotlight for everyone. Okay, you see this? See that? There
Yeah.
you go. In all its beauty. Can you read that? In what's it say? In this, I'm shaking. I used too much Roundup. That's the truth. Okay. In the section on hoof sizes, heel lengths were found where he says he measured all these wild horses. Heel lengths were found to be the same for virtually all hooves sampled, 1 centimeter. So I didn't have his book till recently. I followed another guy that follows him, right? 1 cm. Every wild horse has feet like that, he said. Okay, well, anyway. So this image, you don't know the truth to begin with, but these images are put in your head. The live hoof, or well, not the live hoof, the dead, dehydrated, freeze-dried foot of this wild horse, the back foot of a wild horse became the poster hoof for the barefoot movement. And so people all over the world now, and all their interpretations on anatomy, they made on that 1 foot. And so, you know, so then people all over the world started trimming like that. And that's why there's so many lame, crippled horses. Because no way on God's green earth is every horse supposed to have a heel that is 1 centimeter high. 1 cm. I mean, I couldn't even believe that when I saw it. You know, well, that's what you get though, that 30-degree hairline and ground parallel coffin bone, because you have crushed the heels up into the foot. So now we've done this to our horses. Now we're trying to restore what we've done. Okay, let's see. Let me undo this. How do I get out of here? Help. Let's see. Okay, did I change? Am I on another page?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so what were we were going to go look at something. We're going to go look at Dolly's feet and compare. You know, people need to know that no, not all wild horses do have that foot. Let's just recently somebody sent me let me get over here. I'm going to show you a foot somebody sent me of wild horses just today. And who was that? That was Kathy Brown. And she sent me this. Just a second here. Okay, she sent me this. I'm going to take a copy of it first. Copy image. Okay, this is let's see, open link and new tab, just a second. New share. Okay, this is a gal by the name of Sandy Sharkey Photography. Go there, buy some pictures from her. Prints available. See there? We're advertising for you, Sandy. And so these are American wild horses, and they're having a fight, obviously. And hmm, anyway, who was it that sent me that? Kathy Brown sent me that and said, look, they have heels. Okay. So I want to magnify that here. Just a second. Open. New share. Just two random wild horses. I think it'd be funny if it said they were in California, right where he supposedly measured all the heels. I just don't think he knew what he was measuring. You know.
I think he has a herd of wild horses on this alleged research facility. And he's got hay stations like a mile away from water. And I think that those are his literal test subjects. And I don't think there's hundreds of them. I think there's like maybe 20 max.
Jamie Jackson?
Yes.
Oh, well, well, he says that he was at the Litchfield Correctional, Litchfield BLM Corrals in 1984, and that he measured the feed on 107 horses. And that's, see, this book is from 1992.
Yeah.
Okay. And he says all the horses had heels, and he has, first of all, the book has lousy photos and hardly any of them are his.
Yeah.
Second of all, the photos of the wild hooves that he has that he uses for a specimen were a horse that the heels were totally worn out on.
Right. Right.
Okay? So then to come up with all horses have heels that are a centimeter high.
Right.
Okay,
right.
That's not even the width hardly of the coronary band itself.
I know. It's just a travesty.
So you look at these hooves. I mean, even though the pixels are going wild, I can see heels there. A lot of heel. Do I have that on there?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
And check out those notches.
Yeah. I was really looking at that, and stuff. Very interesting. And yet this horse, he has a little bit of a notch. He has a chunk broke out there. See it?
That's what Dolly did last summer, a year ago.
Yeah. So I think this is trying to tell us something, that maybe there's some sort of trimming technique we can incorporate into this that will help pull our heels back. Maybe. Notice this is a notch too. This is not, I don't consider this a big scoop, because scoops go from about here over to there. So anyway, now you've seen those. Hold on here. New share, just a second. I'm going to put you back over here for now. And I'm going to go to a painting of Charles Russell, just a second, from the 1800s of other wild horses. And again, we're not just following wild horses, okay? But isn't that how this started? Right? The natural hoof, right? We're following the anatomy, learning the true anatomy of the horse's foot. And the wild horse, in some cases, a lot of cases, can be an example of both how feet can get distorted and how they could be correct if that horse had just the perfect terrain and wore him just perfectly. See? Uh-oh. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to call my son. Does somebody else want to talk for a minute? I forgot to tell him I couldn't come in to lunch. So hold on. Just a minute. I'll find this for you first. Pictures. Or, well, I'll put a video on for you where I skin that foot. Hold on. Yeah, what am I doing? Okay. Hold on. I'm going to put a video on for you while I go talk to my son who's wondering where the heck I am. Okay.
Can someone talk about white line separation? Can someone define it while you're on hold?
Yeah, Angeliki, are you there? Does anybody know about white line separation?
I know we have it.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it.
What to do about it is a whole nother question.
No, if you can just define it, like explain it to me.
Okay, white line separation is just where.
Sorry, I have no good connection and I lost you for some time.
Oh, okay. I lost me too.
Was a question?
Yeah, white line separation, what is it? And it is just where, oh, do you know what it is? Do you know how to define it?
Well, is when the corium is not attached well to the outer wall.
Yeah. Yeah, the hoof wall itself is separated from the sole.
Yes.
Yeah, and pulling
So
apart.
you have to wait until the connection becomes healthy again. There is nothing else to do. You keep it clean from any thrush and just wait until it comes down.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay,
You're welcome.
I'm gonna put this video on for you here. Just a minute, I gotta find it. Oh, you gotta turn that on. Hold on. Let's see. Just while I can call my son real quick here. Oh, there we go. Let's see, DCM.
Are we taking like a 5-minute break?
Yeah, go ahead and I'll just put this video on. Gotta find one first. Oh, I got a lot of them here, but I don't know what they are in a second. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. Stop. This might not be a very long video, but this is the cartilage. The skin, the foot has been skinned, and this is the cartilage compared to the cartilage on a chicken bone. So you know, I like to use examples, and you should too. Try and think of ways you can explain and understand stuff. You know.
Should we see something, Linda?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
in a moment we
there.
just the comparison through Rayla's foot.
Okay, here you go. You see that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna hit play. Where is play? There. Okay, there you go. Okay, so I wanted to show you more about the lateral cartilage, or sometimes they're called the ungual cartilages. These two cartilages that are right here are made out of, well, cartilage. Okay, you know what this is, don't you? You see it every time you bake a chicken and you remove the breast skin. This is that piece of cartilage that holds each side of the breast of the chicken. Okay, it's the same thing in here. See how movable that is? Okay, so the back of your heels, your bulbs can be pulled down just like that. But that cartilage always wants to return to where it is. Here's your, this grows the heel buttress right here. Right here, let's see. Right here, it grows from underneath to support up like that. Like a pillar that supports this up under here like so. All the hoof wall grows from the side here, coming down from the side of the coronary band, coming down till it gets right here. But then the heel buttress grows like that. It doesn't grow on the side. Again, the wall grows like this, but then when it gets here, it changes right there to grow to support this heel bulb, like so. And so when you trim out the heels, it pulls all this down and it bends all this cartilage under. Now, to show you how easily this can be bent, here's the full cartilage right here. Your heel buttress would be growing from right here, down like so. When you trim that out, it pulls it down like this. Then when it can't pull it down any further, it turns it in like this, and it pulls it into the foot like so. And the periopal right here, where is it? Okay, this periopal skin gets pulled under here, and it stitches all this together, and it forms a false frog. And it chokes out the true frog, because what it's trying to do is hold on to the hoof capsule so that the horse doesn't lose the hoof capsule. But again, here's your cartilage. There would be your heel, normally. Your heel clear back here. When you trim the heel out, pulls all that bulb to the ground, and then the more you trim it out, the more it bends this down. Instead of being up like this, it starts to bend it down like so. When it can't bend it down anymore, then it starts to turn it around into the foot like that. And then you wind up with a foot that size. Let's see, what do we got? We got one, let's see, 1, 2, 3, a little over 3 there. That's how big your foot would be when it's supposed to be that big. Again, what does it do? Okay, you've got a heel buttress that grows. You've been taking it out and out and out, and so you keep trimming it out. Eventually, it starts to bend this cartilage down, like so. When it can't bend the cartilage down anymore, then it starts pulling it in like this. All the time the hoof capsule getting reduced, and there's the size of your foot right there. When it's supposed to be this size. What do you think that does to the horse's leg and suspension and to the actual function of the foot? It destroys the horse. It causes mechanical laminitis, clavicular, every kind of hoof disease, canker, because you ain't got no frog no more supporting it. Look, it's supposed to be supported by this frog here. You see, this is supposed to be up off the ground like so. And then this frog, the frog don't have to be absolutely on the ground because it's supposed to work like that. It descends to the ground and pushes up. It's called suspension. Okay, so see, looks like that. Okay, by the time you're done, this foot, let's see, what would it be? Okay, this foot is this long, and I can turn this clear into here and take off that much of it. Take off that much, reduce that foot to there. I can rob the horse of that much of his foot
And so gradually the heels are trimmed out and it gets pulled down and then it gets pulled in like that. Even this side, look. See, I can do that. Your foot winds up being that big. That's from incorrect heel trimming. Just like this.
That was good. Does anyone know where to find that video solo? Is that posted on the YouTube channel?
Don't know, but I
think-
want to look for it too.
I think it is.
5 points to the person who finds it and puts it in the chat.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to know, while we're waiting for Linda, if anyone can answer about the Tuesday and the Thursday chats. So a few weeks ago, Tuesday was like a hoof evaluation that people could come on. And from what I understood the week before last, that sort of changed. Like Tuesday is now something else, and Thursday is going to be a hoof evaluation. So then is Tuesday just educational, like generally? Does anyone have clarity on that?
I don't think the Thursday thing ever really happened. There was a Saturday morning, I think kind of a spur of the moment hoof chat a week ago, but I don't think the Thursday thing really happened regularly.
Okay, thanks so much. Does that mean that Tuesday now is kind of just takes a course that it takes, or is this strictly now an educational session and any hoof evaluations happen at a different time? I'm kind of just trying to understand, like, are we allowed to still ask questions as the chat proceeds, or is that like needs to be treated separately? There's just for me a little bit of confusion around that.
It started off with a hoof evaluation, and then we went and looked at some of Linda's pictures from Valor. And I know she said any major questions, a quick comment or a quick question, but save the big questions for the end. She'll have a Q&A.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much. I obviously missed that part because I didn't have clarity. So thanks a lot for clearing that up.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, this is Jackie. One of you asked Linda about white line disease. Well, I had white line disease off my horse Red Star for several years. And when he had the white line disease, he was always lame, always had hoof cracks in his hoofs. And what I have found out that it's a bacterial and fungal infection that can go all the way up to the hoof. coronary band, and also sometimes it can cause an abscess. And I also have treated it before also, and I finally got it healed up.
Oh, that's
What was your treatment you had on that?
Well, I would soak his hooves twice a day in copper sulfate and Epsom salts in warm water. And then also I grinded away his hoof where the black was. And on one of his hooves, I had to go almost all the way up to the coronary band. And I got all the black stuff out. And he's healed up. You don't even see a crack anymore in him.
see, that's great. You did that,
Yeah, and
Jackie.
he had 4 cracks on his left front,
Mm-hmm.
3 cracks on his right front, and then he don't have a crack on his right hind, but he does have white line disease because when I tap his hoof with a small hammer, not hard, it sounds hollow in there. I haven't treated it yet because the reason why is because I was afraid from doing the front hooves and then that hoof, then he'll be lame and very sore, can't move. So I decided to leave the hind hoof alone until the 2 front fully heals up.
That sounds like a good idea.
Mm-hmm. And now since his coronary band has fallen off, I'm waiting until that heals up before I do the right hind.
Okay, are we ready to start again? Hey, thank you for sharing that, Jackie,
You're welcome.
about your experience with that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to, let's see, where am I at? Let me close that. Let's see, do we want to go back to Maryland? So do you see that video? You see how easily that cartilage can bend and the different ways it bends? And of course it's full, all that's inside of there is soft digital cushion, which is fat. See, and so all that foot can be compressed. And here, I'll show you. Now, that was the back foot on this horse, and he actually had really good back feet. But the front feet were totally foundered. I mean, wholly foundered. I'll show you a picture of them here. Let's see, where are we at here? New share. And why is that? Because when you trim according to frog height, that's what happens. Let's see. Well, wait a second. Well, just a second. New share. Okay. Well, it's not letting me. Oh, there it is. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so here's the front foot and a back foot on the same horse.
Wow.
Due to how the horse was trimmed. Now, I just showed you the cartilage on the back foot of this horse, and he actually had very good back feet. Trimmed out a little bit, pulled down. That's why you see these rings. But you see the difference here in the periopal. The periopal here is just along the back of the foot. The foot was pulled down somewhat. But here, this is the front foot. What a mess. See? Because of the trim. I mean, this is, you trim this, these horses get trimmed into this. Their feet do not want to be that little tiny barefoot thing that was put in our heads. And so this is the difference. Now, if the person would have trimmed the back foot exactly the same, the back foot escaped it because it had a different, the frog was different. So never took those heels down, like they kept taking them down on the front feet. And so the inside of that foot, now there's your cartilage See, that's part of your foot. Okay, let's go back this way and look at the internal foot. See, all of this is from that foot wanting to go back to where it wants to be. Let me go. That's what it looked like on the bottom. See, different layers of frog. Get here to the internal foot. You can see what that looks like behind. Come on. And you see how it's wanting to come out here. See, what you're calling abscesses a lot of times is the foot wanting to burst out of the capsule, because the foot is a certain size and it just wants to burst out of the capsule, because it's actually walking out of the capsule, but the capsule is not coming undone. See, that's what this foot wants to do here. It wants to burst out of this capsule. Get up here. See, and what you see here, when you see all these rings, okay, the foot's coming out, it's taking the capsule off. The foot's coming out of the capsule, but the old capsule's still on it, being pulled off this way. Trying to get to the inner foot. Okay, well, this is that foot. So you can see, this is digital cushion here, and your cartilage up here. Well, I took the digital cushion out, a half of it, and here's your cartilage. You see how it's rounded? So it just makes sense that when you're trimming the heels out, it's got to go somewhere. It'll be pulled down to a certain degree, and then it'll be rounded into the foot like that. Just making a smaller version of itself. Here you see what true periopal skin is supposed to be. It's only about that wide, where I got my little cursor there, and it's only supposed to be around the outside and the back of the foot. It crowns the foot. It's not supposed to be sucked underneath. But when the foot is compromised, it goes to work to hold the foot together. All right. Now, when you look at a foot like this is not what the foot looks like. Okay, I've taken all the structure and support away from it. All right. And so somebody could look at a foot like this, and then they could imagine that look at this. This is only a centimeter right here, the coronary band. As soon as you take these feet off, there's nothing supporting them in the back. There's nothing supporting this foot now. And so the whole back of the foot falls down. Okay. Ideally, this foot, this is why people make mistakes when they do dissections. They look at a foot and they think, oh, well, there's the foot. No, that's not the foot. All this cartilage would be up here. Like so. This coronary band would be like this. Okay. Like that. This cartilage would come down like that. This here, right here, would be up here. Right up here. And this is going to grow your heel buttress. Connected to this heel right here, going to be clear up here. See, this is all cartilage and fat. It's all just flopped down. It's flopped down. So that's why you can't just pull a hoof capsule off and say, aha, the anatomy. No, I mean, it's there, but it can be distorted and deformed. Let's see. Let me undo this here. Okay. And of course, I want to get to this other deal. Now look at there. There's your lateral cartilage again, but I've cut out as much of the digital cushion as I could. All right, but you can see that there's still fat stuck to it. You want to know why your horse's feet don't freeze in the winter? Because they're full of whale blubber. What is whale blubber? Did I pronounce that word right? Adipose tissue? Is that how it's pronounced? Anybody? Tiffany?
That's correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
So adipose tissue, whale blubber. What's that do for the whale? Keeps him warm, right? What's it do for us? Keeps us warm too. And so the inside of that foot, that whale blubber is a cushion and it provides warmth too. That's why your feet don't freeze. And of course, got all that hot blood going through there, you know. But see, your heel is right here. Your heel, the heel capsule grows from the, it's all cartilage. That's why it can move and be distorted and deformed so easily if those heels aren't exactly correct. I think I'm going the wrong way. Okay, so this is right here. This is frog corium. Here's your frog. Here's your sole. Okay, here's your digital cushion right here, right in here, and up in here. Again, this is on a sagittal section when they cut a foot down the center. This is the true shape of the digital cushion. When you see it where it's all round and weirded out and wide and odd, this is up in the foot. See, this is high up in the back, in the foot up here. And then the frog stay. This is the frog stay. This is between the bulb right here. See, take all these pictures to try and understand what's the real foot, because when you trim the heels out and it strips the frogs out, it pulls this area here down and it stretches this way out and makes it really wide because it's pulling it down to the ground and it's all attached to stuff up here. And then they look at that stretched, deformed, distorted digital cushion and they go, oh, look, the digital cushion is growing. No, it's distorting, but you can see why somebody would think that. If you don't know the truth and you see this little narrow one here, seemingly, that remember this sagittal section cut down the center between the bulbs right here, you see that and you don't know the truth. And then you see one that's wider. See, like if I took this, remove this here and I just stretch this down to here and it's all wide, you say, oh, well, that one's better. No, it's not better. This one is anatomically correct. That one is distorted. That's why I took so many pictures of this, because of what they teach about how when they see this all stretched clear down to here, you don't even see that. Here's where your frog stay grows from. Big, thick lump between the bulbs. Stabilizes your whole foot. And then the digital cushion presses down onto that frog and it finds resistance. And then it's pushed under here into where the navicular bone is. And the deep digital flexor tendon. So this is the cartilage on that other side of the foot. I have just lifted and flipped it up so you can see into the center of the foot. Again, this is the bulb and the frog corium where the frog stay grows, and the frog would grow under here. And this here is in the center of it is the true shape of the digital cushion. And again, what happens? We trim the heels out. It pulls all this down and stretches it all down so that the digital cushion will look like this. and they'll say, oh, look at that healthy digital cushion. Look at that it's grown. No, it hasn't. It's been deformed. See, because you've stripped the frog totally out of the foot that grows from between the bulbs right here. Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna go. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, well, anyway, I was gonna look at that other foot, but let's try something here. Okay. Just a second. I'm lost. Let's see. New share. Okay, just a few pictures of what it looked like on the inside of that capsule with the foundered foot. So you can see. See now, let's see. Am I sharing that? There we go. Okay, so that's what was going on the inside of that foundered foot. Why is that? Because the foot is wanting to pull up out of the capsule you're constantly trimming the heels out of, because that's where it's supposed to be, up, and the back. And so you're standing it on its tiptoe. And so it's constantly trying to grow a new hoof capsule as it's being raised up out of the back. And so it literally eats the toe away. Let's see. But guess what? Horses can be healed to where they can still be semi-sound if you can get the back of the foot developed. You can see how the bulbs are pulled together back here. You know, why is that? Because as you trim the heels out and as the foot tries to stand back up, the hoof capsule is literally bent around in towards the back of the foot. Let's see. There's a clear picture. Just there, see what it did to the toe? Now you know when you're looking at an x-ray and you see one of these feet, what's going on in the toe. And again, why is this? Trimming the heels out. Foot doesn't want to be down, pulled down like that. No more than your nose wants to be slammed over to the side of your face. And so the foot is pulling out, pulling up, pulling out. It creates a situation where you are pulling the hoof capsule off. And the foot is going to work trying not to let that happen. And so when you're doing, like, look at the frog stay here. Okay, this is why, here you go. Here's this is free. Okay, you see how it's shaped? Has anybody ever seen where they'll show this and they'll say, oh, they want to call it a frog spine? Has anybody seen that besides me?
No.
Oh yeah, see, they want to call it a frog spine. Well, Bracy Clark named it a frog stay, and that's what it is. It's the frog stay. But why is this frog stay? Here we go. Wait a minute. This is so good. Hold on. Let me get the other one so you can see the other one and make a comparison. Just a second here. Where are you, you little booger? Hold on. Okay. Okay. I'm looking for this other foot here to find the frog stay. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go there. Well, now I'm lost. Oh, I lost my thing. Okay. Oh, okay. New share. We're going to go to the whole foot. And we're going to look at the frog stay in this one. Okay. You see this foot capsule here? Look at the frog stay. See how wide and thick and big it is? Right there. See it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, and I'm going to do this so I can take a picture of it. A second here. Okay, now go to this other one. Where is she? Okay, now look at this one. The difference. Let's see, new share. See the difference?
Totally.
Okay, so now I'm going to take a picture of these together. And do a new share. Okay, see there? So they want to call it the frog spine. I guess just to be different. Who knows? Okay, they do this in equine podiatry. All right, they say it's the frog spine. All right. Well, no, it's the frog stay, but why does it look like that? Because the heels are contracted. See, the heels are contracted. And look at all the differences here. Look at this is the collateral groove right here. Okay, look at them here. Imagine what that's like for that horse's foot. Because not only are you forcing his bulbs to be pulled down and under when they don't want to be there, and you're making his hoof capsule shorter, you're bending the collateral groove of the hoof capsule up into the bottom of his foot. How crazy is that? See? No, that's no frog spine. Okay, it's a frog stay that's deformed. Okay, and so the thinner you see them, I mean, you'll see them to where this, even this part, they don't even have this much here. It's just, and it's because the heels are contracted. See, I always wondered that. I mean, I would see them show a frog spine, and I would think, well, that sure looks weird. I wonder why. And then when I did this dissection, because this same horse, front and back feet, well, duh, it was pretty simple then, you know, but see, they don't know, they do not know the anatomy of that foot. That foot, you have to see that these horses have a foot, and we're trying to get the foot back in place and grow the capsule to fit it again. But this was a really good foot. I mean, the periopal on that foot and everything was really amazing. The way it just crowned the foot, wasn't pulled under at all. He was pulled down a little bit in back. This periopal band should have been more up here. If it would have been up here, would have been better. And so you saw too, when I put the foot, a whole foot back in the capsule, the back of it wanted to stay up more. Okay. Okay, well, let's see here. Okay, so Marilyn?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what I think is on your horse is that you have to do a basic trim, but you need to learn a little bit more, I think, about beveling the walls and doing a basic trim, beveling the sides of the wall to allow more of that to fall back if it wants to, and growing in that heel, the back of the heel, so that it can start enlarging the back of the capsule while you're kind of shortening up the front of the capsule. I mean, it's a twofold process there. You're going to be growing in heel while keeping the toe relatively beveled in back and the sides beveled enough so that those horn tubules can move. That is what I did with Valor. You haven't really got a flare per se, a bend in the wall like I did.
Right.
So I don't think that you need to do that deal with the hacksaw.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, oh, that's good. It's really not that bad, other than the fact you got to get down on the ground, you know, and saw. Sounds terrible, but look, how thick is the wall? Next time, I'm gonna get all my pictures I took to show how I did that. Okay, and you'll see it's about 1/8 of an inch through the wall. Okay, a farrier comes in there, he's gonna take that all off in one chunk with the dressing down. See, all we're doing is making a little separation between the horn tubules. Okay, so I wanted to look at Molly's foot.
Before we do that, should I do a notch in Dolly's quarters?
You know, well, see, we'll look at that when we look at that. Okay, we're gonna look at that notch she already had that you told me about.
Okay.
Okay, and I see I did a notch on Valor here. Actually it worked really good, so I'll try and dig it out all those pictures and have them for next Hoof chat.
Okay.
Let's see here. Oh, great. So just a second. Okay, let me just do this picture here. Do you want to save changes? Yes, I do. Okay. Saving picture. What do I call this? Frogs. We'll just call it the frog spine example. There we go. Okay, so all right, so going to Facebook. Let's see, I want to undo this view. Choose. Oh, removing from spotlight. There we go. I want the spotlight on me. Now I have to, let's see. I've got this big view here. Oh, let's do gallery. Okay. You're gonna have to bear with me here because I can't seem to minimize my screen. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, so let's close some of these. Okay, Facebook. Get I'm trying to find you again, Marilyn. Open a messenger. Okay, now I gotta put you on. And put that up there and more screen share. And we're back. Okay. So you said you had a comparison. Is this it here? Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Right there.
And that's where she broke out herself.
She broke out the sidewall, and then the farrier the trimmer trimmed her. I was trying a farrier, hoping to find somebody who could trim.
Yeah.
And I don't think she trimmed off the heel quite enough.
Yeah.
She was so sore after this trim that she literally could barely walk out of the stall, and she ended up with shoes on the next day.
Well, that could be because of the way she did the toe wall. You think?
It could be.
Yeah, I think so.
But she was so sore, and that's the day that her shoes were pulled. She'd been shod, I think, 3 cycles.
Okay.
And her shoes were pulled. And I thought the farrier was going to reset her shoes until there was more snow on the ground, but he didn't. He gave her a heavy trim, as you can see. And
Yeah.
again, she was so sore she couldn't walk, and I had to put her in boots, change them every day for about 10 days until there was snow on the ground. She was again so sore she could barely walk.
Yeah. So we don't want to do that. You
No,
know.
we don't.
So can I just jump in for a second?
Yeah, please.
I have exactly, yeah, not totally exactly, but similar, exactly the same situation on my other gelding, on Angelo, and he's not sore, so he can walk very nicely on hard ground, on stony ground, on soft ground. But I trimmed him today because, but this notch came from upwards. It grows downwards, and this in the same position, and I just cut out everything that I've found in dirt, and then I do I trim it. I don't know in English. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry. Okay.
On the level from the sole back, more back and back. So I set the fake seed of corn back.
Oh, okay.
And bring him up, and it just happened on one foot. The other 3 foots doesn't have like that, and I trimmed them the same way. So.
So you did the same thing to the other feet?
No, because the foot is the foot left front. It happens, and this is the foot. I don't know the word in English. He's in copper. You do the, you know what I mean? He said the
cribbing.
Yeah. And this is the foot on there's the most weight when he do that.
Okay.
And he's 20 now, and I don't know how long he do this because I just have him 1 year. And he has very, very big feet. And what is interesting, his cartilage is not curled in and pulled under. What is interesting, his cartilage is just curled under and not it's just pulled under, and the hoof is getting wider and wider and wider and bigger. So
good.
I have to I'm struggling because he's struggling with 2 big hoofs. It's like a a size 10,
like clown shoes.
Yeah, it's like a size 10. It looks like Bigfoot.
Oh, so getting bigger and not good, like
they trimmed also the heels out.
Okay.
And down.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant getting bigger in a good way, but you mean getting bigger in a bad way?
Yeah, getting bigger in a bad way.
Oh, okay.
Dodo,
I'm going, oh,
Dodo
good.
Dodo was exactly the opposite. He gets smaller feet and smaller and smaller and smaller. The situation we saw on every horse right now, and I'm just curious about what happened to the cartilage when the hooves getting bigger and bigger and bigger instead of smaller.
Well, what's happening is a lot of times when the foot is trimmed, it's going to do 2 main things. It's going to curl inward, okay, or it's going to follow the shape of the foot and it's going to spread outward.
Oh yeah, okay.
And each time with things, then the horn tubules and the quarters and the toe still shoot forward, say. And you'll see the frog get real wide too.
Yeah, the frog. This is something curious. The frog is very small and thin. Totally small. I will do photos of Angelo.
Yeah, do some photos.
Yeah,
you know,
because this is quite interesting.
Yeah,
so
I would like to see.
yeah, the heels are trimmed out, and he's not getting bound, and he's going down, yeah, and
Huh.
a little bit forward, but not crueled in like Dodo. Dodo is crueled in totally,
Yeah. Huh.
and he's getting wider and wider and wider. So this is totally interesting. And the sole is is not a flat or a little bit like a cookie. It's
Uh-huh.
like the moon. It has little craters. I don't know. There's
Huh.
like little holes in it, and they look like little drops, like they are pulling backwards. This
Huh.
is totally
Well,
interesting. I
yeah,
make fun
I'd
of
like to see it
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, take some pictures. Then we'll look at it next week, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, I want to see what's going on,
Yeah.
know,
That's interesting.
because we always learn something. I mean, these feet, holy cow,
Yeah.
So this is the same foot. See how just depending on they're trimmed, whatever, so many different things happen. Like here, I can see where taking off doing a Mustang roll. That's a Mustang roll. Okay, that's where like you could just dub it and do it flat, but then you can add Mustang roll to it. And either way, I can see where that makes them sore because you've taken away the support of but it's hard for people to know what to do. What do you do with that wall that's sticking way out there? See, she's got way less there. That's much nicer. Now
There's two more pictures after that one too. 2 days later, I put a little more bevel on the sidewall there.
Mm-hmm. Now, how was she here?
She was still sore. She was in boots.
Okay.
That was last week, 2 weeks ago.
Okay. And how's she feeling here?
She's walking pretty good. And if you'll notice, she has put herself another notch in that same spot.
Yep, she sure has. Well, and so a lot of times, because there is no true connection here, it's hollowish. And so they will put a notch here. But the interesting thing is that it always follows a growth ring and then a horn tubule, kind of like that. So you could try some notches back here because I don't think it takes anything away. I don't think they get sore from it. Anytime I've ever tried it, they never get sore. But what I would,
on the sole view where that notch is, it's actually right near the back of the heel quarter.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because
Do you see that she's growing out of the old hoof capsule?
Oh yeah.
This is totally interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, she is growing out of it.
Is it hard in the back, Masha? No, whose horse is it?
This looks like I'm thinking this is it's Marilyn.
It's fairly solid back there.
It's solid?
It's solid?
Yeah.
It feels like periopal bulb, firm,
yeah,
but not like a rock, not
yeah,
hard like a
it's
wall.
not hoof wall, it's just her bulbs.
Okay, because of Dodo, this is hoof wall. It looks the same, but it's hoof wall.
See, oops, where'd we go? Let's do that again. Okay, so that was 7, 7. This is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Let's, what I want to pay attention to is this little area right here. We're going to go forward. It's grown forward. See, it's grown more, but it's grown forward. And of course, then her bulb is like hanging out the back. But there's also more hoof wall here.
I have a question for the owner. When you're trimming, are you lightly taking off some of the heel, just ever so slightly rasping it?
I'm leveling them off. Right now they're up to 2 and 2 1/8 inches, and I'm gonna bring them down to probably 1 inch and 3/4 because they're well over the level of the seed of corn, the sole. 1 and 3/4, 1 and 7/8 probably.
Thank you.
Do we have a solar view of this hoof?
Yeah, Linda, you have them in the next group of pictures.
Yeah. Oh, let's see here.
And then random question, not related, but kind of. Dental, is this horse getting his teeth or her teeth floated? And if so, manual
Yeah.
or power?
They're with an equine dentist, power floated once a year. She had them done in June or July last year, and she's coming again.
Okay, this is the same foot. It's the left front, and we're
Left front.
looking at the medial side, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yesterday,
see-
Linda, when I was at the barn yesterday, you see how her bars are so defined here?
yeah,
They're flat onto the sole. You can't find them. They're just slanted right up there. You cannot find an edge anywhere.
huh. Well, that's because the back of her foot is bent under, and so they're just kind of doing that.
What's that goofy ridge of stuff just inside the white line, all around the heel and the sole in the quarter?
Here?
Yeah. Do I leave it? Do I take it off? What do I do?
You could take that out. That's probably some bar material or sole material or
Because it goes all the way around the hoof.
around here.
Yeah, the stuff right in the toe is looking like it wants to come off.
It might be laminar serum coming out of the white line.
Oh, that could be.
See, because when I look at this, I see like I would not let my toe get quite that long. I would just trim a little more often, just to keep her walls down so they're not levers.
Okay.
And now you can take the toe back, all right, and blend in the sides without invading the sole or overdoing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would just do a standard trim on her and take do the bevel of the toe like I show people so that there's no leverage on the outer wall.
Right.
And then you could try some notches back here. Look, she's wanting to break out there.
Right.
You could try some notches back here to see if that'll kind of help her pull her heels back more.
Do I leave the collateral groove exits alone, or do I trim those out a little bit, clean them up, or should I just leave those?
I would leave those for now.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just not mess with the periopal for now.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Linda,
Go ahead.
Do you think that could be the because of at Dodo I tried, it looks for me the same problem that I had on Dodo, and Elena give the tip and you said, okay, I should do it, to take the bars totally out till the, and do you see that cracks on both sides?
Yeah.
And I from my opinion, I think that your idea that the bars are holding the hoof in this position and running it forward and trim it out could help to stand them up again and don't running forward. So the hoof tubules are not running forward anymore. That is what I see on Dodo after I trimmed the bars totally out.
Okay, did it help the back of his foot stand up?
Yeah, it helped, and the DIM.
Okay, well, in the DIM,
I would agree with this. I would take the bars half out.
Like to hear.
Yeah.
Which that's pretty much what they need trimmed anyway, just right to here, and stuff. Yeah, that's what because you're going to be taking the heels down some anyway.
Yeah.
And in this position, or in this moment, I would not touch the frog.
Yeah.
Just a little bit on the middle that cracks. Yeah. And yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Push there.
But
I
does that
think
make sense to the owner? Does the owner understand? I think this is her first attempt at trimming, right?
no,
So
no,
confirm-
it's
No,
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 it's
I've been
not.
trimming
Oh.
for,
okay.
No,
But
we
she
know
had some
Merlin.
other help and stuff
Got it.
too, you know. So that's why that's confusing, because she has gotten help, and then yeah,
I'm an old lady. I just turned 77 and I'm trying to find somebody who can trim my horse decently so I don't have to do it anymore.
Got it. I misunderstood. I thought it was like, sorry.
that's
No.
all right. It's confusing, because Marilyn's had a horseshoer, she had her shod, tried to get some help that way, had a trimmer, she trimmed before that. Believe you me, if I could find somebody to do mine, no way, so anyway, so I am going to do a virtual trim on a dead foot to show details on how to do this, Marilyn. Okay, but
Wonderful.
for now, okay, if you're going to be going out there, I would get some leverage off this wall so that because right now it's just like a long fingernail and somebody
Right.
digging in the dirt, so that's what I do.
Question. I have flat rasped and then beveled, and then I have just beveled, and I'm not sure which route to go. If I should flat rasp a little bit to get it down and then do a bevel, or if I should take it down and bevel at the same time. What would you think?
You know what? I do both and switch around. I switch. It's what you end up with. It's not how you get there.
Okay.
So whatever I switch off. Sometimes I'll just bevel back and then rasp down. Sometimes I'll rasp down and bevel back.
I wonder which is quicker.
Yeah, I don't know. One thing
Hey,
about
Linda.
it.
Depends on the hand.
Hey,
Who is-
Linda.
If your hands
Yeah?
are very strong, you can do everything. If not, try whatever works with your hands.
Linda, this is Jody. I got a question for you. What about I don't do this, but I'm just wondering, what if you get a pair of clippers and just clip it off all the way around?
Oh, and you can do that too.
I have
And then
nippers.
just bevel it
This was
smooth.
my idea also. Funny.
I have nippers and I use them on her back feet, but the one time I did them on her front feet, I got her so short, it was awful. I don't trust
okay.
myself with the nippers on her front feet. It's
Yeah,
just too
that's
easy
the
to
only
take too
thing.
much.
I'm the same
of,
way.
What kind of rasp do you have, Marilyn? Do you have the Cody James?
I was going to get a Cody James. I read the reviews on it. I just got a new save edge because I have two older save edges that I really like. And I tried the new one on her hind feet. Much, much easier.
Yeah, stay with the Savage Edge because they are the best. I have both. And I'm not that happy with the Cody James.
I have learned the hard way that a rasp that has too much bite is just too hard to use. And I heard people say that it had heavy bite, and I thought, nope, I can't do that.
You're 77?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. Okay, you're doing a great job. 77.
I didn't start this until I was 72.
Whoa. Wow. Okay, so you can go with the Savage Edge because there's a smaller version of it. I don't know if you have that. There's a big version and a small version.
I bought the standard size. I have an older one that's wider that a farrier gave me that.
Okay, because they are very heavy. Yeah, that I guess these are the big sizes, yeah.
Oh,
Because there's a very tiny small one and it's very easy to use.
Yeah, I don't have any trouble with the bigger ones. They're fine. I maintain a fitness program just so I can keep doing this.
Okay.
Hey, I want to show you my new rasp. Okay, I was in the feed store yesterday. I never seen one of these before. Look at, it's wider. It's made by I got their hoof knives too. But let's see.
I have a wide one like that the barn manager's husband is a farrier, and he gave me one of his old ones. That'll take Hoof off in a hurry.
Really? Good.
It
Okay.
does.
Okay. It's wider and the teeth are a little smaller and stuff. It's made by Mustad. Mustad. I never seen one like this before. See how it's
Yeah.
a little wider?
Yeah, mine is made by Save Edge. It's wide like that too, and the teeth go all the way to the edge on mine.
Okay, now this is a Save Edge. Okay, but it's wider. This one is wider than the Save Edge.
I have a wide Save Edge and a standard Save Edge.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, me too.
I had no idea.
I guess
Why-
there are three
Why
sizes.
am I only learning of all this now?
Who knows?
There's three. So in Germany,
You
you,
know.
can have three sizes of the Savage
Three widths?
Three sizes, three
Oh.
different sizes. You can have a small, not that wide, a small but that length, a
Mhm.
very long one, and a very wide one, and the same length, and the wider one that you have here. So,
Wow.
mhm.
I did. Well, Mustad, is that Germany?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I know it's somewhere over there. It's not here.
So Linda, the one on the right-hand side is the packaging from the big one, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's Heller.
Oh, it
That's
is. Okay. Huh.
Because I'm the same one and it's really great. I love it.
Oh, good. Well, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to trying it.
That's a Heller, not a
Okay.
Mo. Yeah, and it's
Okay.
really, you can get them here in Europe as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Well, it said on the box there, the package, it said that it worked for more flattening out. Like if you want to do a real nice flat foot, that it was better at, helping you get that flat surface level point. Which I like to try and get, and then, detail that. But anyway, yeah, good. Well, I'm looking forward to using it if it ever dries up around here. Okay, well, leave the floor. Oh, okay. Are you all right for now, Marilyn?
I think so. I'm gonna hope to trim maybe Thursday this week. We're supposed to get 7 inches of snow tonight, and last time, 2 times ago, when it snowed, they didn't even plow the road.
Oh, wow.
A
Okay.
mile and plus of one lane road that somebody kind of opened.
Okay.
So hopefully Thursday.
Yeah. Is there anything else we can deal with right now for the next 10 minutes? Anybody?
I had a question.
Okay.
It's about trimming bars
Okay.
and well, really mapping bars is really what it's about, and a little bit of trimming. And so I have 2-inch heels, and I think I've got it right, but I wanted to confirm that I'm
Okay.
measuring from the just below where the wall and the bar join each other,
Mm-hmm.
and then going across to the freshly trimmed apex of the toe on the other side,
Uh-huh.
and then removing anything. So I'm thinking of like a lateral side in my mind describing this. And so I've got my line there, and I'm going to remove anything that's to the outside of that line toward the hoof wall.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
like just to show, oops, wait a minute. Wait, stop. I did that wrong. Wait a second. So this just shows you the inner foot and why we do that way. Like, again, it's only general. It's just a general way to get you in the vicinity, like I can't take one of these feet and do a perfect line somewhere. But for me, what that has done by crossing over to the other side when I do the bar is it has allowed me to take off. I used to do it over here, and just that much made a difference in how my heels started moving. because
Yeah, I
I was taking
remember.
off more
Yeah, you did
bar.
it. Yeah.
Let's see if
Okay.
I can see some more. Here, wait.
Yeah, I think you decided like in the last, what, 6 to 9 months to do
Yeah.
the crossover deal.
Yeah, and it helped my feet a lot. And you can see it kind of follows it closer here. Takes
Gotcha.
off a little more, you know. It's hard to do anything that would be absolutely perfect. Like here, you see the
Yeah.
bar line kind of goes there. So yeah, is that
Okay.
did we answer that? Did you answer that
Yes.
yourself?
Well, I confirmed it. Yeah, I confirmed
Okay.
it. So thank you. So then my follow-on question is, when you're doing that mapping and then trimming of the bars, we follow, the question is, do we follow the end of the bar there where it's closest to the back of the, because these are false heels, so I'm just going to say it's not a heel, false heel, around the horn, so to speak, and onto through the seed of corn area, and then onto that sidewall that's actually forming the heel. We want to round the corner there, right?
Yeah, you come through here, you know, and you're always kind of defining this edge. That doesn't mean you have to dig out all the sole there.
Okay, just
because you're wanting some support for your walls and stuff. But
okay,
you're redefining this area in here, and it's lower. It's going to go lower because the foot itself goes lower.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people think the bars have to be the same height as the wall. No, because the foot isn't the same height as the wall. The foot is tapered. Maybe I got something here.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
So then one more quick question. I think this answer is going to be it depends. But when we talked about, the understanding the principles and then having all these little tools in our toolbox that we can use to apply the principles as we see the distortions.
Yeah.
If, generally speaking, when you have false heels and a bound foot, and it's causing the bulbs to have the cleavage in the back versus the splaying out in the big wide frog.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, would a principle of that needs to be opened up include the tool of properly trimming the frog and getting rid of any kind of crap in the cleavage that occurs there, and looking at creating a little bit of a central sulcus in a frog that doesn't have one for the purpose of expansion?
Yeah, I've done that.
Okay.
Then I've overdone it. You know what I mean? Well, that worked good. Let's just do it every time.
Well, yeah, because we were talking about removing support in the back that the periopal provides by cleaning out the collateral groove exit. And that is really what spawned my question.
Yeah.
Was to understanding, geez, how much is too much?
Yeah. So we're just still learning that. I'm still learning that.
Okay.
I was doing really good there for a while, and then I think I did it one too many times, and my frog said, no, I didn't like that. You should have let me get established or something. But I'm not sure I'm even right about that right now, because I just had something weird happen to the frog stay and the front of the frog. I'm not sure what happened. Here lately, I've been thinking that my bulbs released, but I had this big, strong frog stay that was still holding a frog under the foot more. And so it wanted to stretch it all back, but it got stuck on a piece of deep, good frog stay that is good frog stay, but maybe shouldn't have quite been there. It still needs to establish itself further back.
Further back in the back of the foot, not toward
Yeah.
the toe. When you say
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, because Bracy Cart called it the bolt.
Right.
See, so I had this weird thing happen to where it was like the front of my frog got all weirded out and puffy, and it was like it was stuck on part of the frog stay. Because see, what happens when all this is happening, your whole frog is being pulled back. Your whole frog's corium, everything, you know, all them bulbs and everything all got pushed and pulled and pushed forward, and the whole soul corium and frog corium and everything's all. And so the whole time you're going through this process, that whole frog is moving, that whole frog is pulling back. And so at the same time, I started growing real frog, you know, and it was really healthy, but it still wasn't in the correct spot, you know. So then it went through a deal where, I mean, this is where I'm seeing it in my mind, is that the back of the foot want to pull back some more and pull that frog back. But since that frog stay was so strong now and still forward, it kind of lodged the frog there.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Kind of.
Okay.
This is like thinking in 6D, 9D.
It's, yes, I have a migraine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I totally get it. I must be doing something right if I have a migraine.
That's right. See?
So that makes me want to ask you one more question, then I'll give somebody else a chance. The recent pictures that you showed of the dissected foot that was the good hind feet, it was a white hoof, and you had stood it on some little round wooden spools.
That was the hoof knives.
Yes. Oh, okay. The hoof knives. Okay. So what I'm trying to understand is, in a restored foot, or as best as we can understand about a restored foot, if you were looking at it from ground level, from the back, like you had with the picture I just described, there would be that inverted V between the two bulbs, because that's the back part of the sulcus that's below the frog stay. The frog stay is actually above the notch in the V between the bulbs.
Yeah, here I'll put some pictures up here. Just a second.
I'm trying to purge my mind of bad pictures and insert new ones.
Okay, let's see here. New screen share. Yeah. What is it supposed to look like, right?
Exactly. Just like we looked at today.
You know, what's the real foot supposed to look like? Yeah. Because if we don't know, how can we try and think of a way to get there?
Yeah, and that was part of the whole removing the material in the cleavage that happens when it's really not a cleavage. It's like squished together bulbs at the back of the foot.
Yeah. Let's see, screen share. Okay.
There should be a cleavage.
Well, let's look at that here real quick. Oh, there we go. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
Cleavage, or should it be wide and open like this?
Yeah, maybe my definition of cleavage is bad. So let's just call it wide and open like that.
Well, yeah, without its own very push-up capsule.
Yeah, the Wonder Bra for back of the
Really? You don't want a Wonder Bra on your foot here.
No, you don't.
No.
That's what I thought. This is what it's supposed to look like. So if, like Tiffany pointed out, those two sides are squished together and there is a cleavage, that's a bad thing.
That's a bad thing. Yeah.
And one thing we can do to help if our principle is open it up, a tool in the toolbox would be to remove some of the crap that's in the cleavage to
Yeah,
provide a little space to
Yeah.
encourage.
But not too much, so it tries to fill it up and go out the top because there's no place in the back.
well,
Right.
that, and also, sometimes what's in there is the only thing keeping your heels from contracting. You know, so you could remove it and your heels could contract. I mean, I've seen this happen too.
And how would we know that?
That's
would
why
we know which-
that's why we are researchers.
Oh shit! Immediate gratification takes too long.
You know,
Okay. Yeah.
we're gonna figure this out. See,
Okay.
everybody here, everybody that does any of this is supplying data with pictures and results and things and that, you know, yeah. So
Linda, do you have the side by side of the pointy frog stay and this version that you put together in the middle of the chat?
yeah, let me get it
The
here.
only reason why I'm saying it, and I can't see who's speaking, but the way I look at something as a body worker, if there's a sharp angle, I usually don't like that. There's tension, and see how this one's rounded and curved.
Uh-huh.
That's like I desire that in my musculature. I don't want like a ripped 6-pack abs. I want like soft and supple, but able to pull it all together. And so this frog stay is nice and soft and supple and inviting. Where the one with side by side, you'll see it's pointy and sharp and angular. And that's like angry to me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Let's see. New share. There you go. Same horse. You know?
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah. If you look up frog spine, you'll see they got a drawing. It's always been called a frog stay, but some genius had to come along and call it a frog spine to be different, I guess.
And all that periopal. All that
Yeah.
periopal goes
Oh yeah,
all the
look
way
at it.
down.
It just goes
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
And see, your periopal can be sucked right into the foot, into the area, right in there, into the area of the frogs where the frog stay is supposed to go. It's can wind up being wholly periopal. So, yeah. Yeah,
Holy periopal instead of holy cow Batman. Yeah.
yeah, instead of frog. Because see,
Yeah.
your periopal, you can see how that would happen. In fact, it happened so much that they thought it was part of the anatomy. Bracy Clark has a picture of periopal curling under right here and covering the whole frog, and he called it the frog band. See, before he labeled stuff and understood more stuff, he thought it was part of the normal anatomy of the foot. I got a picture somewhere. Let me show you. Okay, now you see on this foot here, that periopal only goes and crowns the foot. Okay, now there's frog. What is it? It's not even, it's like 2/8 of an inch thick, if that. Okay, when it's normal. Okay, and right directly on the other side of it here is frog. Okay, so I mean, it just tidies up and covers up and attaches all this to the leg. You see that? But when the foot is compromised and this is pulled under, it goes to work to hold that foot on at all costs. And so then it looks like, this is very interesting. Let's see, new share. Let me find the picture, just a second here. Okay. Well, let me just a second, I'll get there. Bracy Clark. This is gonna blow you away. Oh, wait a minute. If I can get it to open, why don't you want to open? Oh, well, it wants to know what app I want. Why for so? Okay, just a second here. New share. New share. Here we go. See that? You and I can look at this and tell the heels are trimmed out, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, but he couldn't. And because he didn't know about false heels and all that kind of stuff. He didn't know about how the cartilage and bulbs and everything else got pulled under the foot. And so this was so common among horses then that the periopal, see, when the heels, where's it go? Where's the periopal? Where's that part of the foot going when it gets all pulled into the center of the foot? Where's the periopal band going? It's going in like that and it covers the whole frog. And they thought it was part of the anatomy and that's the way it's supposed to be. But that's not. See, this is what happens. That periopal goes under here and it'll grow over the whole frog and it'll hold the hoof capsule on. See, it goes to work constantly trying to keep the horse from losing his hoof capsule. What do you think of that? I think that's interesting. See, oh, go ahead.
I think it's also interesting that the hairline in the front is curved up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the back of the foot is bent down, which curves the hairline up, you know. And of course, then the walls, just so many things happen. But
those tubules are straight.
Well, that's because they drew them that way and they could have been that way, but you know, we don't know.
Yeah.
But you can also see that they did draw the growth rings, you know, but you can have a foot like that too. They don't all grow clear forward like this. If they're taking the toe back at the same time, then you could still have straight horn tubules and you could still have this going on. But you see, these bulbs are pulled under like that. You can flat see it. See, because the periopal band is only supposed to crown the top of the foot.
But look how he calls it the coronary frog band.
Yeah, that's what they called it. Okay, then he renamed it later as the periopal. But he named this back here. He didn't know that the whole thing was the same unit. And so then he named this back here the frog curtain. He still thought this was frog, even though he knew this was something else and called it periopal. He called this the frog curtain. Well, why is that? Because this part of the periopal covers the frog, but it is not frog. And you know how we've had that mix up before, right? Is that periopal or frog, right? Until it gets real white and then it turns white and stuff. So he called this the frog curtain. No, but he was wrong. All right. This whole thing is periopal. Let's look at this again. Look at this other foot. See, he already said they made mistakes. What'd you say?
We should trademark periopal curtain.
Yeah, well, no, because it's not a periopal curtain. It's just the periopal. It's just that
Linda,
yeah, what? Yeah,
do you see how long the hoof is?
the one in the other picture?
I mean, yes, the previous picture.
Well,
Because this hoof reminds me of the Greek horses when their hoofs were up to 9, 10, or 12 centimeters long on the toe.
Yeah,
Look.
but this is not the same. This is a fake foot altogether here. This is a crippled, fake, distorted hunk of junk. Okay? And they didn't know it. Okay, this would have been, I don't remember the date on this one. Okay, this is fake heels here. Your Greek horses didn't have fake heels, and they had the frog high up in the
No,
foot.
no, the Greek horses of today.
Oh, of
When
today?
3 or 4, yes, when 3 or 4 years ago, I started to see, the Greek hoofs.
Uh-huh.
I always said because it were like 12 centimeters long. And I always was quarreling about it. I said, do not leave your hoofs so long on
Oh,
the
okay, I
toes.
see what you're saying.
But yes, so they looked like this.
Oh,
So
okay.
you have to have the periople down and under because the wall gets so high and the frog cannot follow the highness of the wall. It
Uh-huh.
has to be stretched down.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
This hoof reminds me of the overgrown walls on the Greek hoofs of
Yeah,
today, not the ancient one.
yeah. Well, same horse, same feet, same distortions happen, and stuff. And
Yeah.
but let's look. Okay, so you see how he has now. This is what they called it. This is like earlier. I think this is earlier in his studies. This was before he changed the name to periopal. Peri meaning around, opal meaning hoof, around the hoof. And I think maybe he did realize later that what covered the back is supposed to be periopal, but he never saw a correct foot in his whole life. And if he did, he didn't recognize it. Because the foot he thought was the natural true foot of a horse that hadn't been trimmed ever till it was 5. That horse had distorted feet where the back of its feet got so long that the back of the feet got pulled under, the cartilage got pulled under. And so let's go back to this again, because this is correct periopal. What this horse has is correct. It never got totally pulled under his foot. This never got sucked under his foot. You see the band goes around like that. So let me get rid of this thing here. Let's see. Okay, wait. Okay, you see the band here? You see the thickness of it there? See how it goes only around the top of the foot and only around the back. It does. And look how healthy this frog stay is. These heels never got trimmed out. They never totally collapsed forward. And the periopal was in the exact right spot here, crowning the top of the foot. Here's the periopal corium right here. It only goes up like this. It is not supposed to go under the foot at all. The only time it does is when there's hoof distortion, heels collapsing forward, heels being trimmed out, and then it's creating a situation where the hoof capsule's being pulled off the foot. The mechanics is the foot is pulling out the back and the capsule's pulling off the front. And so this stuff goes to start covering. The way it works is it just grows forward under there and attaches and holds the capsule on the foot. It gets thicker all the way around. It grows on the heels and it attaches and binds that deformed capsule onto the foot, which is a good thing so that the horse can survive. But then when you're trying to restore the foot, it can become a hindrance. So you have to learn to manage it. And feet that have been super trimmed out, and then let me go over here. I wonder, oh, I guess I closed that out, darn it. Feet that have been super trimmed out and then they get a whole bunch of moisture, that's when you see them start exploding out the back, because that periopal lets loose, it expands, it lets loose, and the foot can expand. There's a picture on the group right now of that very thing. Something Equine Solutions. That's happening to a horse that came in for her that was shod, which they show them it's worse because they're taking the heels even lower than we all did in barefoot trimming to put a shoe on and still have frog contact. How ridiculous is that? You know, so this poor horse, she took the shoes off of it and they had a real bunch of wet weather, and now the foot is bursting out the back. So let me see here. Okay, here periopal. This, you see how wide it is? That's all the wider it's supposed to be. Here again is periopal corium right here along the back of the bulb. That's about a centimeter. What about the rest of the foot? I guess you're just not supposed to have any sole under your feet, you know. So, okay, now, yeah, all this periopal corium here. And so again, it's only supposed to, it crowns the foot. It's only supposed to grow around the top of the foot. When your foot get compromised, then it's, well, look, the corium is sucked under the foot, right? So it's all growing under there. It's got to go somewhere. And where does it go? It goes here. Ta-da! And so all those horses in his time, because they believed in frog pressure, a doctrine that was introduced by a Frenchman over there. Lafosse was his name, and he was just trying to find the truth, and somehow, and I can understand how he came up with the concept that a horse has to have frog contact without realizing that frog height is arbitrary and you're gonna create a whole mechanical disaster going. And so they were trimming all these horses to force them into frog contact. And as you do that, the foot doesn't want to be down under here. And so it forces itself back up, and then the heels curl in like this. Well, that periopal curls right in with it, and it all grows over the frog. And that's why they called it the frog band, because they didn't know the anatomy and they're just looking at what it was doing. I've seen periopal grow clear over the frog. Okay, I got pictures of it. A number of us have pictures of it. And so this is where we're correcting anatomy. Like, you never even hear it called the frog band at all anymore. And the reason it's called the periopal is because Bracy Clark named it the periopal. So what we're experiencing here in looking at this picture is some of his earlier work compared to his later work. See? That's pretty cool, don't you think? Okay. That's about it for today. Did we learn anything? I hope
Oh
so.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I hope so. I'm learning all the time. I just am really hoping that, and I know that we will, the more we learn, the more we understand, the more we're going to learn how to reverse this whole process and help people and help horses. So, okay.
Thanks,
Anything-
Lynn.
Hey,
Everybody.
thank
Thank
you,
you so very,
everybody.
very, very much. This has been awesome.
Hey, it's been great having you all here. Thank you for all your support, and everybody have happy trimming, and let us know what you're learning. don't be afraid to speak up, okay?
Thank you very
Thank
much, Linda.
Bye.
Hey, and if you say something in chat and I don't see it, sorry about that. Because I don't read the chat. It's
Okay.
all I can do. So I'm
Thank
kind of
you.
looking at it now. Hey, you guys have a great week, okay?
Thank you, you too.
Okay,
Thank
bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Now where
Thank
am
you, Linda.
Hey, you're welcome. Good to hear from you.
Bye, love.
Bye-bye. Now how do I get out of here? I'm trapped in, oh, there we go. Bye.